Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
2-point game. Keep it on the floor. Gilgeous-Alexander. MVP. Down 2 on opening night. Pull up. SGA. Got it. Ties the game. At 104. With 2 seconds remaining. Timeout, Houston.
Passes to Jack. Jack looking for the hat trick. Bounces towards the empty net. And scores with the dagger.
Walman scores! Jake Walman in his season debut blisters home the winner.
It's got outplayed, got outcoached against a good program, a good team. PJ does a good job. He's been there 8 years now. I've had a lot of success. They got great culture, and they beat us everywhere. I worry about offense and what we got to do. Obviously, it wasn't good enough. So just got to challenge them to get better. We've played good offense this year. We know what it needs to look like, and it just didn't look like it. So that starts with me. I'm responsible for what the offensive production is. So we got to do better. We got to practice better. We got to prepare better, and we got to go play better.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I was hoping LeBron didn't show last night, but he unfortunately made his way to the arena.
Well, he didn't play, so that's a plus.
Yeah, I know. I kind of like.
We got that going for you.
Without him, I can't get here soon enough.
You coming around on Luka yet, or no?
He's fine. I know what I'm getting.
You like a little bit slightly better in shape, Luka?
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to go for 46 every night, but
probably not. That would be almost a record.
Well, if he plays against geriatrics like you guys.
Whoa.
No, I love old people.
Listen, geriatrics that got that W.
I love that listen. I know people like to, stay gainfully employed so they don't have to test the betting market. It was the freest game on the slate of any game that was
What
played
was the line?
yesterday. 2.5, Golden State.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I laughed.
Mm-hmm.
I
Wait, how's that go?
Yep. Yeah, like I was. That and yeah, that was stealing.
Yeah.
100%, Ravi.
Well, listen, I'm just glad that Jonathan Kuminga is helping me out with his trade value, so he can get on up out of here.
You're such a hater. It's funny. I hope, because we preach against this all the time.
Yeah.
I hope you're not one of those guys that is so wanting to be right that you don't get it right, because he's actually a good player. You hate on him kind of ridiculously. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Your coach doesn't let it deter you. If he doesn't like it, he just sits his butt down. Like, you're fine.
Yeah, I know. No, it's fine.
It's like,
listen,
what's wrong with you?
I enjoy the 22 championship just as much as the other 3, even though Jordan Poole was a key part of it. It's fine.
So spoiled.
Whatever it gets to get me more Steph Curry greatness, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Whatever, that's all I care about.
You probably got one more move in you.
Yeah, probably.
So you'll be fine.
They got some picks
just
left.
Wait till February 5th.
They got some picks left. They can figure it out.
How about that guy?
Is that Marshawn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I like
you. I know that by face. You see that?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's very, very impressive.
Well, looky there. There's not a lot of them I can do that on. But
No, I was not expecting. So I was on my way down to Big Red Wrap Up last night. And,
Yeah.
And I sometimes play my YouTube TV through Bluetooth.
Yeah.
It just depends on what's on my satellite, because I have the NBA Network, I have hockey, I have baseball.
But if you can't get the game you want, you throw it. Yeah.
So I listen to the Vancouver, as some of the people from there say.
Yes,
really?
they do.
Vancouver. Yeah.
I have never heard that. That's a real thing.
Oh yeah. You being like Ravi Rich because he doesn't have kids, like Danks, double income, no kids.
Yeah.
Would go broke in about 7 minutes in Vancouver.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Like one of the worst.
I went to a training facility up there to watch some soccer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm doing this on my own dime. I don't feel I'll be being reimbursed for this. Yeah, it's a very expensive, beautiful city.
Canada's like that in general. It's pretty
they were
expensive up
training
there.
on it off the island for the national team.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
That's
was ended up not being money well spent, but that's neither here nor there.
well, you got to see a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah. Check that off the
Vancouver
Bucketa list.
like, how did it say it? Vancouver?
Vancouver.
Vancouver?
Vancouver.
Vancouver? All right, that's
It's
fine.
a lot of people that look very, very, very different. It's a very eclectic
Sure. Yeah.
place.
Well, it's like North Portland, right?
I've been to Bellevue and Seattle.
Okay.
Have I been to? I've been to Eugene.
Okay.
That's what I call Heath, our guy over at the dealership. Which, by the way, so our partnership with
Edwards.
Yeah. He basically taught me because he couldn't help me because he couldn't get the lease.
Yeah.
It's just they couldn't do the crossover.
Yeah.
So he basically told me how to do it.
Oh, really?
And then, yep.
Nice.
I called one of my besties, and he got it done finally. So
My-
that's one less stressful thing.
My lease is through them, so hopefully they can figure it out because I kind of want a new one.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah. He smoked. I wonder why he didn't ask me over. I think because he thought I was gonna be in a mood on Sunday, which I was starting to I was fine.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't.
I was gonna say,
But he did like these chicken.
it's fine. Go ahead. It's fine.
He did like these chicken thighs,
Oh yeah.
bacon wrapped jalapenos, and I told him everything was cool except he had all these smoked beans and stuff with like meat in there, and I was like, yeah, I'd rock with everything but the beans. He's like,
I'm going beans over the jalapenos.
he
man.
goes, that's fine. It's Terry's. But
Yeah.
she like her sides. They make a nice little tandem.
Yeah. Was she at the golf tournament? Did I meet
yeah.
her? Yeah. I think I met her.
She's the funny one. Of
Yeah,
the two.
Well,
He's a wackadoodle.
I'm not
She's
gonna
the
say
funny
that
one.
because I still want him to hook me up with a Wagoneer. So I'm not gonna say anything mean about Heath.
Oh, he's the man. Just go eat with him.
I know.
Like he likes good. He is a very good foodie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep, he'd eat that.
We get along. I like
I'll
food.
show you these chicken thighs he made. They look he got me on chicken thighs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Because you said
Yeah.
you didn't used to be into them.
No, at all. I didn't. That was 5 years ago. I started eating thighs. Maybe 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, first 45 years of my life, no bueno. And Severe used to sell me on it, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm not."
I'll say you don't listen to that guy very much though.
I'm not rocking with it. Although he was fine last night. He was very before every question he thought I may get mad at.
Yeah.
He'd go, "We're a family, right?" And you could just hear him saying that, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
No,
absolutely.
he was fine. Look,
How
look
was,
at these chicken thighs? That's before he put them on.
Yeah.
I might have smoked it too.
I might have smoked it too.
How did Avery do? Was that her first time?
No, I think it was her second.
Okay.
No, she was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's talented.
Yeah.
She's
I didn't think I'd seen her on there before, but I might.
Yeah,
have
it's very few guests that we have on where Severe dominates the question asking, but he took over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot on his mind.
Well,
I looked at Jay. Jay looked at me. We shrugged.
There's a lot going on.
Jay's funny. I spent a lot of time with him Saturday.
I'll say you like Jay.
I do. My mom likes Jay.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of weird.
Well, I think she has good taste in people.
Yeah, and you know what? He doesn't give you very much.
Yeah.
Like he kind of just minds his own business.
Guy does his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes you got to.
He was getting out of there in a hurry last night. He's single parenting, and his little dude was over at the neighbors. He didn't want him burning down the house. He's like, man, I gotta go. I ain't got time.
Can't mess with that.
No, it's just a weird, and it's funny too because I like, I know you're like, oh, the good piece of cheese and this, that, and the other. Because even, whether it's former players or fans or like, not everybody's gonna agree on some things, but there are some non-negotiables that players and coaches will always agree on.
Like what?
Well, number one, do what you're coached to do, right? Don't be undisciplined.
Yeah.
So whether you guys want to get into scheme or whether they were emotionally prepared, like whatever.
Yeah.
Do what you're coached to do. Number one.
Yeah.
And number two, you'll get another crack at it, so you don't have to rest in it. Like that's just a competitive mojo.
Yeah.
See, we've ruined this. We've ruined the season, right? We got all these issues now.
That's the part I have a hard time understanding. But go ahead.
But we'll just never subscribe to that. So, and coaches won't either. Like they want you to rest in it and be miserable and not talk solutions. Like people just want to bitch and moan. So, but players and most, if they're worth their salt, won't subscribe to that. So you'll hear them say things and it won't register because it's not what you want to hear.
Yeah. Or you don't have a frame of reference for what they said. Like if you've never been
that could be
some of those.
That could be. But
I think.
But
go ahead.
No, don't.
To defend. Well, I want to let you finish. I don't want to cut you off.
They have a frame of reference. They just don't like it.
Or they don't understand that it's a frame of reference. Yeah, I think that can happen too.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I mean, maybe.
So like with what let's get into like what Coach Butler said. Do we have to
do this already?
I mean, if you want to, we don't have to. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about chicken thighs?
So apparently you're being very agreeable this morning. You don't want to
I'm always agreeable.
That's not true. So if I throw a baby fit, you're just going to lay down and do what I want?
Depends on if I feel like fighting it or not.
Right now I'm not feeling you're very fighty. Like, can I just bully you?
We're gonna get to it eventually. So I'm not worried about if we get to it now.
2 times I clapped and you were like, no, we don't have to do it. I was like, ooh, I may try to see how far could I get with this.
Probably not very.
What time is it?
You're
gonna come to your senses by 7:15.
No, you've only got. There's only so many agreeable statements you can get out of me in a day.
No, you want to get into this. So coincidentally,
yeah.
Jay and I did agree on this.
Okay.
We did agree on this.
So
he was much more upset about what happened than I was in terms of his reply. So my reply,
in terms of Butler's reply,
just kind of in general, because Severe asked a very general question at the beginning.
Okay.
And it's like thoughts, like he ain't messing around.
Yeah.
Usually there's some places. He's like, so let's get into it. What happened? What happened?
See, at least I gave you 13 minutes.
I was like, oh, man, here we go. And I had to call him first because I knew what kind of mood I was in.
Okay.
So I called him about 5:10. I said, hey, I'm just leaving Westside. I'm about to run back in the shower. I'm about to hop back in the shower. I need to get my mind right, man. Who's our special guest? Because it like I know how I have to prepare myself.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Different shows with different people.
He's like, shoot, man, it was supposed to be Damon, but he's going on Husker Sports Nightly. I have to check my notes.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, well, I'll just call the producer. But Mick didn't answer first 2 times. He called back, and then he's like, oh, it's Avery Howard. And I was like, oh, whew. All right, I can chill. Because, you try to prepare for some sort of spirited debate. Like if he'd have said Sipple, I'd have been like,
gotta put the Dukes up.
Yeah, I'd been like, let's go.
Gotta fight him.
Sam, I'd have been like, it's good. Whoever else, I don't know. I can't even think about it. But
so what was Jay's reaction?
Jay was kind of.
He said he was a little more upset.
He was, yeah. He was He's like, it's got to get better. Like it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that.
Yeah.
And told no lies.
Yeah.
Just very matter of fact. But for me, I'm like, I didn't want to come across as though I had never experienced that. So I didn't want to be a hypocrite.
Okay.
So my gut reply to it was, well, fudge, man. Like I was around for 92. I was around for 96.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did lose to Texas. Mm-hmm. Certainly didn't match their juice. We did lose to Arizona State. Certainly didn't match their juice. Well, we darn near lost to Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
We lost to Iowa State. So I didn't want to be the guy because I'm in the solutions business, right? So that's kind of always how I look at it.
You didn't want to act like this has never happened before.
Yeah, so I wanted to get – plus I want to provide hope.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I'm in the solutions business.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have some things that ail you.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't mean you have to rest in it. So that's kind of the angle that I took before I finished the response. Because, again, there's only a couple things that would ultimately bug me about play. When you don't match fire, like when you lay down.
Yeah.
I.e. quitting.
Well, like you said, when you taste blood and you don't fight back.
Yep.
Right? That's a problem.
That's probably number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like of all the – and then kind of the hypocrisy drives me crazy.
Sure.
Because as a guy that's made mistakes, you try to own them.
Yeah.
And move. So I kind of want that in other people too.
Absolutely.
So because we're being disingenuous. I just hate when we complain. But we don't really want to know what some possible solutions are. We just rather complain.
Yeah.
So that'll get your boy.
There was a couple things that, as I've kind of digested some of the, some people's reactions.
Did I put the whole Butler thing off long enough? Because that thing's gonna aggravate me.
Oh, I mean, we can talk about this part because I do think there's some things that I've noticed over the course that I don't know. Maybe this happened last year and I just forgot or whatever, right? Maybe there was just more hope this year than in previous years. I don't know. But I have noticed this. Once it looks bad, we think it's going to look bad forever.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily – it's probably happened before and I'm just not remembering it. But, it's a thing that I'm having a hard time. So I was talking to a buddy last night and he's like –
Like a buddy?
Yeah, like a buddy. I think you know Jake, right? We've talked about Jake before.
Jake and the Fat Man?
No.
You ever used to watch that show?
No. I'm unfamiliar.
Shane, did you used to watch that show?
A few times. I've seen it.
I watched it a few times.
Yeah.
But
I was like, who's Jake?
I'm having this conversation with Jake last night. We get on to college football for whatever reason. And he's like, Nebraska's offense is bad. And I go, no, Nebraska's offense had a bad game. Those are not the same things. If you look at the rest of the season, they have not been bad. That is unequivocally untrue. That for the first 6 games of the season, they were not bad. They had a very bad game against Minnesota.
Yeah, now they've
had stretches.
They've had warts that continually show.
For sure.
Yeah, but
they have not been just
they got to figure out how to get some makeup before they fix it.
100%. 2 years ago, the offense was bad. Full stop.
Yeah.
Right? That's just it is what it was. So I think there's this thing where
you think it's structural or is it more like skin tags?
I think it's more like skin tags.
Okay.
I think there's the pieces to be really good. I think you just have to figure out how to make it look. I think it's because we've seen it look good.
Okay.
Right. If it's structural, I tend to think, okay, it's probably not going to look good for extended stretches ever. Right. There's games where we've seen them play, even against the lesser opponents, the Akrons and the Houston Christians. Right. When you have a bad offense, we've seen those games be like 31-0, right?
Yeah.
Or 41-7. Like, it's hard to get to 68 with a bad offense no matter who you're playing. That's just true. I don't know what else to tell people. So, I've coached basketball games. We had bad offense. It's like that team can be as bad as they want to be. We are not breaking 80. That's just how it is, right? So, I don't think it's structural. I think there's something. I think whatever they need to fix it is already in the building.
By the way, not that I think there's anything wrong with skin tags.
Oh, they're just easier to remove than like a tumor.
A tumor.
Right? I mean,
Get to the chopper.
Hard to just freeze those bad boys off.
Yeah, I had one removed from my hip.
A tumor or a skin tag?
A tumor.
Oh, that's scarier.
Yeah, it looked a lot smaller than when he actually pulled it out.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper!
Well, you got
That's
a lot
what I
of probably inflammation around there and stuff too. Makes it.
It was more assist. When he pulled it out, it was about the size of an eyeball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
big.
No, it looked like an eraser. Slicing me open. It's kind of gross.
Not a big fan of the getting sliced open.
Not enough skin there.
Oh.
It's kind of a tight fit. It's kind of, it's right on your waistline.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's over though.
I don't have any hip surgeries to.
I got that done over at the Creighton Medical Center.
Did you?
Yeah, he was a dermy over there.
Oh, we went straight dermatologist on that one?
Yeah, because I had to go, this is a stupid story. I don't even know how we got here, except for tumors versus skin tags versus just
Structural versus
what ails Nebraska.
cosmetic.
His brother was my hygienist.
Mm.
And he said, "Oh, you need to go see my brother. This is what he does."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that's back when I was like hobnobbing. I was in that Noddle crowd and stuff. So it was just like, hey, you got to get me in? Let's go get it done." Nah, I'd be like black marketing. Freaking.
You'd be like, Ravi, you got a scalpel in there?
Yep. What I asked you for yesterday.
Tylenol and a syringe.
No, you're exactly right.
I didn't ask.
That's the difference in 25 years.
I didn't ask any questions. I was like, all right, yeah, here you go. And I had them, so I mean, what does that say about me?
That sounds so awful without context.
Yeah, it does, but I think it's funnier that way.
All right, so back to Coach Butler and structural.
Yeah, I mean, I think I thought it was really interesting the way people processed what he said yesterday.
Do you think do you think they know the question?
I don't know, because it genuinely depends on which feed you're listening to, whether you can hear the question or not.
Because do you know what we're really good at?
What's that?
We are really good at like having super strong opinions with like 28% of the information.
Sure. Yeah.
It's wild.
So that's part of the reason I feel like, and I know this doesn't look like
Penn's just scored again, by the way.
That was last night. This is not live.
I think they won. I'm not sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure you knew.
I think they beat Vancouver.
They're not playing at 7 a.m. here. That's part of the reason I feel like I've gotten less emotional, or at least not emotional for as long after doing this show with you, because I feel like I've got more information about what's happening. Not even like inside information, just like how football works.
Yeah.
Than I used to.
I try not to talk to you.
I know you do, but it's inevitable because you get paid for it. So
it's inevitable. What one? Who's the one line of the drop? Oh, Thanos.
Thanos, yeah. Yeah.
I knew I had heard that in my head somewhere.
No, anytime I want to ask you something and you
son.
haven't texted me back, I just wait for it for the show and I'll be like, I'll do this on air. I don't care. That's why you started texting me back. You're like, oh man, this guy's crazy. But it's easier to do this in private.
Good piece of cheese.
It's okay to say something positive.
Carry on.
But no, I think I think sometimes there is a lack of information. Sometimes it's a lack of context. And I think sometimes, and we were sort of talking about this off air, I do think sometimes there's a lack of frame of reference, or you don't know you've got a frame of reference for the thing. That's why the analogy you gave yesterday about military and medical professionals was really good, because it brought it to a point where people are like, oh, I can see that, right? Because more people have been in, and not that everybody's in the military, but more people have been in regular jobs than they have been in high-level football locker rooms, right? Yeah. So I think sometimes we forget.
We got a really good tweet about what this guy's company calls.
Oh, yeah.
Where he basically was saying, hey, it's okay if you don't like the game plan at our office, but it's not a problem until you're not committed to it.
Yeah, he said disagree and then commit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
they had some theory at the company.
You have your moment to say, hey, I don't agree with this. I think we should do this instead or whatever. But once the decision is made, you commit to it, right? Yeah. And I think there's more of that in our lives than we think. But I think sometimes we forget.
It's just so easy in sports. Like if we get a bad strength call or we're in the wrong defense, the
failure is obvious immediately.
The number one thing we say is be wrong together, be wrong with aggression.
Yeah.
Like be wrong together and do it hard.
But like if you're wrong alone at your medical sales job, there's probably 3 people that know about it.
Yeah.
You, your boss, and whoever you're trying to sell to, most likely, right? It's a pretty limited circle. Like there is, so I think we kind of insulate our regular lives and forget that these are people working a job also.
Yeah.
Right. And that doesn't excuse them to not make mistakes, but it does mean that more is applicable from our lives to theirs and their lives to ours than we think.
Yeah, I'm a big analogy guy because sometimes people just can't relate to what I'm saying. So I don't want to talk over you or whatever. I'll try to give you a different analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think we had all these strong opinions on what Butler said. Number one, we lacked the frame of reference for what he said, but we seriously were acting like we've never been at a job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know, hey, listen, I know you guys and gals are fantastic at what you do. Nothing ever happens in whatever it is you do because you've never had anything that you think you know, and then something happens and it alters the course of your day.
Yeah.
That's never happened, right? That's not.
I think that's happened to literally everybody.
Nothing has ever happened during the course of your
personal,
day-to-day that you're really good at,
Mhm.
and it'll happen, and it will still alter the course of your day.
Mhm.
He never mind the fact that he said, hey, you know, that I got to, like, that's not good, right? Every play has its own life.
Mhm.
Never mind that 3 weeks ago, I think he's doing too much. Why do we have to stunt? He's putting those guys on the move because. And then we have a guy that can't get into, he takes the backside easy route opposed to getting his butt in A gap. Then we have two guys that don't get downhill to squeeze down the hallway. Then we got a safety that doesn't get into the box, and it's like, that guy sucks. I'm shook. And he very well may be bad. I don't know how Butler's going to turn out. But one thing I do know is in that moment and for the rest of this season, he cannot resign himself to the way that we think. But, man, so why do we want to be right when we think that way? I don't know.
I don't know.
Hot take central?
Do we want to be right or do we just want to be mad?
I don't know. I mean, contrary to popular belief, I try not to tell people how to fan, even though people really enjoy critiquing and try to telling us how to do our job, right? So I'm not a big, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. I try not to get in the weeds. Occasionally, it just depends on my mood. But it's just like, of all the things that were said like that, oh, that one got me. I can't believe Butler said that. It's like, stop being so dramatic. Like, and I'm certainly not defending the thought process in terms of, hey, make sure you're always like that. Just roll over and be shook.
Sure.
Like, a couple things can be true at once.
Yeah.
He can because don't you want to be aware of what happened? So you try not to repeat it?
100%.
Okay, because
if you're not aware that you were shook, then it's
try
going to happen again.
We were just going to let a player get into all he's got to do is get into A gap. Okay, but he tried to slip it and he went backside, so that thing gets elongated. And then Quez Watson Trent's got a puller that's allowed to just turn the corner. So he's got to take that on. Then you have the backside guy who's got honey hole. He's trying to play cutback. But because a guy slipped backside to begin with, he's probably a little conscious that, oh, poop, this is a little more than I thought.
Yeah.
And then a running back who's pretty good has a two-way go, and so we're mad at a guy for taking a bad angle. Like what he'd say is that very same run, flip it around, it was Michigan. They stunted into it. We weren't happy with that, were they?
Yeah, because, you stunt into it.
It was one went to the right, one went to the left. Darn near the exact same run play. They tried to defend it two different ways.
We didn't like either of them.
That's where you tell yourself, remember the choices I went through yesterday? You can hammer home, keep doing the same thing with who you got. You can hammer home, change the guys you got. You can not hammer it home, stay with the same guys that were out there when you don't want to hammer home. Or there's five, right? You can do the same thing with the same guys. Or you go new philosophy, new guys.
Yeah.
So, like, that's where they got to make their money. They're not done.
Right.
You have to go out and play this week. You're not.
There's 5 games left. They're going to play all of them, I guarantee.
And that's why you get paid. And guess what? I'm going to tell you guys this. If you're not good at what you do, you're going to probably find somebody else to do it.
Yeah. So
you might as well just go with your deal.
Yeah.
Like I just for whatever the reason, man, I think solutions are possible.
I agree.
And it's extremely difficult. So because if you think I don't want to pick up the phone and be like, look, I know guys that will fit in the run game and get their ass downhill and know how to play.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. But I have to be patient, right? Because I know what's going on behind the scenes too.
Yeah.
So that's just the weird position. Like, I'm well aware of, but I also know what it's like too. My 16-year-old in the car this morning, I let him control what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Radio-wise, whatever.
Yeah. He flips over and hears somebody say something, and he's like, why do we act like have they not played? Don't you know sometimes you put stuff in and it doesn't work and coaches stop calling it? He's 16.
Yeah.
But because somebody told you that, because somebody actually shot you straight, we use that as an indictment on his character.
Or his coaching ability or whatever, right?
Fine. At least he's aware, so then it's up to him to fix it or not. I'd much rather be like that than be like, man, I don't know what happened.
I guess we're just bad.
But now he knows, though. So there is no real wiggle room. You're either getting better or you're not. Once he says that out loud, like he's not on the clock per se, but is very tangible on whether he's growing or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? That takes some stones.
Yeah, because people like to leave
because
themselves
look what
outs.
Everybody did with it.
Yeah, people like to leave themselves outs.
Yeah. So and you know, he told you, hey, this is what it was. I got to be better. I just don't have any problems with that, because you do have to be better.
Yeah, you do. And I also like the whole calling things too vanilla. I need to be more aggressive. That part of it, I mean, you brought it up with the stunts. I really struggled with, right? Because
everybody did. It's just easier now to point the finger.
No, I mean,
they tried it a couple of different ways, right?
I struggled with the concept of even identifying that, because if I'm watching the game on Friday, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think this defense is too vanilla. I didn't look at it as like, oh, that's the problem, right? Whereas there are times where I was like, I wish they could get more pressure on Lindsey.
Okay,
sure.
Do you know what's interesting about that? Because I think I'm kind of with you.
Like, that's not the thing that came to my head.
I'm kind of with you. I wonder sometimes, philosophically, are they connected to what they want? Like, is what Coach Rule wants what Coach Butler wants?
Sure. That makes sense.
Right? Because I think I go back, this is so petty, and I can't remember the press conference. I go back to Coach Rule explaining quarters and fitting in the run game, and how he and I think he said out loud, I don't really, something to the effect of he didn't like quarters so much.
Or it's challenging to fit in the run game out of quarters, or something like that.
Like that.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact quote, but I know what you're talking about.
And I'm just like, well, that's interesting. Is that how they're going to play it? And we're just going to concede because you're still learning secondary play? Because that's probably the one place I don't think he's as gifted. He's really good with the front seven, but I think he would tell you.
Well, and especially with the guys in the room between Addison and Phil and John Butler, he's the fourth at the very least in that group on defensive backs,
and
right?
kind of to that point, you know what's interesting for me that I want to see, because he hasn't been here before, Coach Rule, where you feel like you have your guys in place, and you're kind of liking the CEO thing, but the CEO thing didn't work because you tried to delegate. Then you didn't like the way that it went. That's the first time he's gone through it. Right? We'll want to make it so, well, no, listen, this is different than a staff at Baylor. This is different than a staff at Temple. This is different than a staff at Carolina.
And he's got more coordinators that he doesn't know.
And this is the first time that he's been able to kind of have this role at the collegiate level.
Sure.
So he's got to find his way too. How hands-on do I need to be? How hands-off do I need to be? How much can I empower? So like like one of the reasons he may be mad is because he may feel like he let the week get away from him.
Like he didn't let his imprints on it enough?
Yeah.
Sure.
But you know how you got to look at that? Oh, I'm not going to touch the stove next time.
Now I know.
Right? So that's interesting
to me. We'll see.
That's interesting to me too.
Yeah.
But listening to the coordinators yesterday, they came across as two guys that probably got their hands slapped. That's it was a very different.
It was a different vibe for sure.
Delivery.
Yeah.
But here's the one thing I like, and I'm sick like this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now you know. Because the one thing that I'm always terrified about when people come to this place is I say it can do what to you? It's the number one thing I tell coaches to guard against.
What's that?
They can spoil you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It happens to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's very unique in that way. Treat you well, and they're not going to not treat you well.
Mm-hmm.
You get to do things and have people talk about you and follow you. There's this rock star kind of deal. You have to be uniquely equipped.
Mm-hmm.
And even when you're not going to be perfect all the time as a person, because
we're people.
Yeah, it's just human nature to be intoxicated by people saying good things about you. Now you got to recalibrate. Because it's like, okay, we got by. We went on the road. We came back. We showed some sack against Michigan. We came back to dominate Michigan State. We run on the road against Maryland. But you're not a finished product yet.
Sure.
So that's not enough to be portable to go on the road and just plug and play it.
Especially against somebody that hates you.
So, well, they're learning that.
Well, they found that out.
Yeah.
Like they didn't know that at the time.
That's the first time that team felt like what it felt like to have somebody not like you. Because remember, these guys, this is new for them. It's new for the players too.
Yeah, because there's a difference between somebody that wants to beat you and somebody that wants to do you harm.
Yeah, so like when they're sitting on that plane, they're like, man, I just got my ass beat.
Yeah, actually.
That's the first time they're going to say that this year. So you just get to decide, that feels okay. I'm cool with it.
Or, hey, that's not happening
again.
That's
not happening again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like I tell the same story because of the power in it. And when Stu had the conviction in the locker room, and I get it, it was planned for a championship, but I mean, people forget we were 17-point underdogs. We had no business doing what we did, right? And he was like, if you don't want to feel this way again, and then he talked about what we needed to do. And I was like, this feeling pretty much sucks.
Yeah.
I do not want to feel this way again. Do you know why Texas haunts me?
Why
I can smell old cellophane sandwiches sitting on the bus? Because we didn't get a chance to do it again.
Yeah.
That whole week of preparation was grade A trash. And anybody that was on that team will tell you,
just wasn't good.
Wasn't good. Right? I knew we didn't feel well as a team, but we still didn't. Don't get it twisted. We didn't respect Texas. We didn't.
Let me ask a question.
We didn't respect Texas, and they got in our cheeks.
Can I?
So I'm not going to sit up here this week and ask for my pound of flesh. Like we didn't do it. Like we did. And they're not as good as we were. So it's like, what do I expect?
Yeah. But was Tom Osborne still a good coach?
Yeah.
Was Charlie McBride still a good coach?
Yeah.
Were all those guys still good coaches?
The fact people use me, we got some real revisionist.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Man.
Yeah, we do.
We forget what it was like when those guys were really actually doing it. So I don't know, man. I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
No.
You're just going to have to prove to me that you can't do it. Once you prove to me that you can't do it, then I'm not going to provide solutions. I'm just going to say you're not very good.
Sure. But I would argue we have seen everybody that we currently have an issue with, whether it's Dana, whether it's Butler, whether it's Donovan.
It's the same thing, Josh. He's 100% right.
Yeah, for sure.
He's 100% right.
That's why I said in the offseason that Michigan State was an interesting game, because whether you won or lost Michigan, we'd find out something.
Yeah,
and we did.
They have to go through that. They have to go through that too.
Yeah,
like if
they go beat USC, what does that look like the next week?
Going on the road to USC. Yeah,
like that's a big one.
He's one. That's
absolutely.
That's where this team is.
Yeah, you don't know how they're going to deal with failure or how they're going to deal with success.
Yeah,
right. We're not deep enough in it to have that idea yet. What I do know is that we've seen everybody that we have a problem with, we've seen them do well also, right? And this year, we've seen them do well more than we've seen them do poorly. Is that fair?
Yeah. But I did say, like, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I did say, they had holes up until this point. Minnesota just didn't allow them to get a win out of it.
Yeah, they exposed them.
Yeah,
they exploited them for sure.
They got some holes.
And sometimes, as a coach, even as a good coach, you're trying to get a message across, and the players don't understand how big those flaws are until they get exposed for it.
Yeah, ask them how they felt at practice yesterday.
SDB, I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
The Drive into Fall event is on at Edwards Ram and Jeep, Village Point and Council Bluffs. Lease the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn for just $359 a month with 0 down. Fearless fall savings with a massive inventory this October. Or upgrade to Adventure with the 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, lease starting at $299 a month with 0 down. Big inventory, bigger savings. Hurry to Edwards Ram and Jeep, Village Point and Council Bluffs.
Got outplayed, got outcoached against a good program, a good team. PJ does a good job. He's been there 8 years now. They've had a lot of success. They got great culture, and they beat us everywhere. I worry about offense and what we got to do. Obviously, it wasn't good enough. So just got to challenge them to get better. We've played good offense this year. We know what it needs to look like, and it just didn't look like it. So that starts with me. I'm responsible for what the offensive production is. So we got to do better. We got to practice better. We got to prepare better, and we got to go play better.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
That's our responsibility. That's our job as coaches, is that, when you're a process program like we are, and, that game's over, but there's things to be learned from that game, and making sure that if and when we did get away from the process of, playing physical, playing fast, knowing and executing your job and then doing it for each other, that's where we fall back on. And I think that the players understand the urgency, not just based on the results, because it's really not even about that. It's about how we play each and every week, and the results will take care of itself. And that message communicated by the head coach to us is not just to the players, but it's to me, it's to us. Sometimes as an assistant coach, you can get wrapped up into what the score is or what's going on in the game, and we just got to freaking play every play like our hair's on fire and let somebody else worry about the score.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. If you're on the road this morning, make sure you get that seatbelt fastened and make it click. It prevents injuries and saves lives, but only if worn properly. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. You got to click it in there.
I wish you'd
Micah showed me how to do that.
I wish you'd ask Coach.
I almost did. I really almost did.
He probably wouldn't have laughed because it was prep, but he did laugh at one joke, right?
He did. He laughed at Rico's Penn State joke. It was pretty funny. When he said it, I looked at Rico like, "Are you crazy?" Because I was, Coach Lamonti's pretty serious.
Yeah.
They did. And then Northwestern.
Yeah, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall the last couple of days.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because it's just funny. You could just take like these incremental growth things.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with the head coach. Okay, what could I have done differently? All right, I didn't like this, and this, so I'm going to correct it like this. Then that goes to the coordinators, right? Remember, head coaches coach coordinators, coordinators coach position coaches, position coaches coach players. And so to watch this progress unfold I'm fascinated by. It's the first thing I said on Monday is I can't wait for Northwestern.
Yeah. We're going to learn a lot.
You're going to learn a ton because and you guys better make up your mind now. Don't be giving me this foolishness, tomfoolery, as some would like to say.
Big shenanigans guy.
We have painted Northwestern in this certain light. We are terrified of Northwestern.
Yeah, we are right now.
And then if Nebraska wins and they look it's convincing, I don't want to hear anything about Northwestern.
They weren't any good.
Right? Like, make your stand and make it now. And then
tell me what you think Northwestern is right now.
We'll evaluate it accordingly. By the way, we had Louis on Big Red Wrap Up.
Oh, Vacar?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, man, I just saw you.
Just talk to him. Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah, he's good at what he does. We appreciate Louis. Lee says the fear is every team will use the blueprints to get after us until we fix it. Listen, I understand that fear, Lee. I do. Here's the problem that I have with kind of that mindset in general, though. And I'm not chastising you. I understand it.
I can't see.
The problem I have with that mindset is we are assuming things of other coaches that we often do not think very much of, that we are not assuming of our own coaches that I do think are good, right? So maybe you start there, what you think of our coaches, but we're assuming these other coaches in the Big Ten that we often denigrate as not being very good. Some of them I think we respect, but a lot of them we don't. That may be an us problem, probably is. But we assume that these guys can have the ability to exploit a blueprint, but that our own coaches, Nebraska's coaches, do not have the ability to adjust anything themselves.
Oh.
Like, that's where I get a little frustrated with this, because we're making massive assumptions that a Northwestern team that has been very good defensively but has struggled a lot on offense is going.
They haven't struggled running the ball, though.
No, but in terms of scoring points in general, they have struggled.
Yeah.
I mean, that, so like a team that has struggled in general offensively quite a bit, and I think is like 90th in the country in total offense, and as a quarterback that throws a lot of interceptable balls. And you go, okay, I'm assuming that team can make the adjustments to exploit Nebraska.
It's giving me a headache.
But the glasses are me.
Both.
It's hard to tell sometimes. You've got binoculars. I'll get those out. I'm trying to help.
I don't believe you.
You want mine?
It's okay to say something positive.
No.
You'll see it. They might work.
No, dude, this might be the longest I've gone without talking to him.
Yeah?
But I think he thinks I'm mad at him.
Or do you think he's mad at you?
That I don't care about.
No doubt. Yeah, I can't even answer that.
I think there's an assumption about a team that I think for the most part we don't think very much of in Northwestern, that a coaching staff that was on the hot seat earlier this year in Northwestern.
Careful, Ravi.
No, I'm just saying.
Careful.
I'm saying this is the narratives about this Northwestern team, whether they're true or not.
Oh.
So you can't tell me that those things.
Because we did this with Minnesota.
I understand. You can't tell me that those things are true without also telling me that they're incapable of these adjustments that we're afraid that they're going to make and use the blueprint, right?
Yeah.
Like either both those things cannot be true at the same time. I think we have a little bit more respect is probably the wrong word, but a begrudging appreciation for what PJ Fleck does because he's done it for a long time and he's given us trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have that for David Braun in Northwestern. Maybe Pat Fitzgerald in Northwestern, probably not David Braun. And so it's either like it's one thing or the other. They're either not a very good coaching staff that was in danger of getting fired earlier this year, or they're geniuses that are going to exploit this blueprint that we think is out there, and Nebraska is incapable of adjusting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think all of those things can all be true.
So you want Nebraska to just play like this bear or getting some under front and just be like, throw the ball. You want to treat them like Iowa?
Sure, if that's what they think is going to win. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. That's why when we had the Butler conversation a little bit ago, that's why I said it didn't first strike me as, oh, this defense is too vanilla to work. Like, that's not the thing that came to my mind. I went, hey, I don't think guys are executing very well. I don't think we're fitting very well in the second and third levels.
Yeah, so I want, and I don't know. I'm just trying to look at this from like a coaching lens. When a team kind of slow bleeds you like that, I think the natural tendency is to think you didn't do enough.
Sure.
Because when you get bled out like that, it's like, well, why didn't we try this and why didn't we try that and why? Like, it just happens. I just had a conversation last night going home about who we're going to play up front. And the question from Coach Queen basically was, why are we going through this? And I said, well, we have to set the script up tomorrow because I'm not going to be in your ear about doing this, this, and this if you don't feel like they're capable of pulling this off.
Sure.
And he goes, oh, I got you. It's sound. Like, I got you.
Yeah.
But why am I traumatized? Because of what I just saw. So it's helped me be, you know what I mean? So it's like, I just want to make sure. But before we, you can scheme your brains out.
Sure.
Right? And it's cool. But if nobody gets it, it sucks.
If nobody gets it, if they're not committed to it,
if it's not, so
if they're not comfortable with executing it.
I wonder if he still feels like that. What's today?
Today's Wednesday. So
See,
you wonder if
I wonder if Coach Rule
will still feel like it was too vanilla on Thursday?
Yes. Thank you.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Now, listen, I've said this, and I don't know if I would consider this vanilla versus not, but like I've said this kind of for a lot of the year now at this point is, hey, I'd kind of like to see them force the second and third level to be aggressive by what they're calling.
I'd like to. Okay, one more time.
I'd like to see them force the second and third level to be more aggressive by what they're calling.
Okay.
Because I've asked that question. Can you
so
force
you
them
want you want the front to get back to?
Well, I'm not even talking about like the defensive linemen. I'm talking about like, because I've asked this question. Can you force guys through your play calls into run fits quicker?
Yeah, you can put them on the move.
Right. So that's if I'm going to say, hey, if that's what you mean by more aggressive, sure. I've kind of been asking if that's a thing all year.
I promise you, I'm not setting you up for good or bad because I want to get to Derek here.
Yeah.
We have to play to some guys' strengths on our high school defense. Okay?
Sure. Absolutely.
So, in our Zoom and weekend meetings, I'm like, hey, let's do X, Y, and Z. We mull it over. Coach Queen comes back on Monday or Tuesday. He said something really interesting. He goes, hey, I don't mind it. It's the thing about it, though, is with inside zone, you get blank and blank. And it's a really good point. And I'm thinking, let's Are we operating under the assumption that this zone back is this caliber of zone back?
Sure. Okay, yeah.
So that sparks another discussion.
Absolutely, yeah.
Then we landed the plane.
Are they physically capable of exploiting us based on their personnel?
So that's really what you have to think about.
Sure, absolutely.
That's
why I kept bringing up against Michigan that I wish they had basically just forced Bryce Underwood to try and beat him with his arm.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think he was capable of it.
Shane, are we not going to get to Derek?
I would say probably not.
Can you just do me a solid?
I always do you solid.
Stop the goddamn music.
Okay.
I want to get to Derek.
He does have some good comments.
Derek may have some good comments.
Text BC,
tell
tell him
BC
805.
and we'll be like 802.
Yeah.
We don't have to take a break, and it's business as usual. I would like to hear what Derek with a K is saying.
We do have to take like a 1-minute break, Shane, after Derek, but just a quick one. Derek, what do you got here?
Hey, after watching Sydney just destroy Alliance last week, I got to go home and watch the recorded game that I had not spoiled at all, and then get to watch the Nebraska-Minnesota game. So it was kind of a dreary night.
People think Sydney's a pretty good football team, Derek. Is that true?
They are. I mean,
Number
I don't
4 in
think that
C1, right?
Alliance is very good, but Sydney's good.
Yeah. Okay.
They did not look bad at all.
Derek, because you've had sensational calls before, I had to hear what you had to say this morning. No pressure, though. Zero pressure.
All right. Well, the things that I think about the self-scouting, or like what are we worried about? I think we need to be really brutally honest with what are we good at and what are we not good at.
Yep.
Because everything that we've done, our weaknesses have been worse than the weaknesses of the other teams. Like if you look at our offensive line protection, we go into a game where nobody has sacks and they get sacks. Or we look at our run defense and we go into a game where they can't run the ball, or they don't run the ball, and then they run the ball. So whatever our adjustments have to do, we can't assume that just because the other team has not done this against anyone else, that they can't do it against us. So that would be what I'm the most worried about. So, but my question for you as a coach is, how do you build up your team while also giving them the confidence that they can perform, while also being realistic about where they are at the current time?
Let me take the first one while I got you, and I'll take the second part of that off air. Derek, you know what I think helps with the self-scout thing is, you're right. Michigan State wasn't getting after the quarterback. The weird thing is the team that was actually pretty good at it, Maryland, had the least amount of impact. So what I think Nebraska does? I think they over-accentuate the hypotheticals. So what they've got to do is they've got to chop up every run play that's gone for every explosive run play. And they have to see what happened. Then they have to practice against it, whether the opponent has done it or not, right? Because it's a copycat league. Michigan wasn't running outside zone, Derek, until they got to Lincoln, right? And then all of a sudden they like outside zone. So I think one of the places Nebraska, this is a fantastic question. I think if it were me, Nebraska has to, even though the players haven't seen it on film from this particular team, they may just want to keep repping it in case it happens. You come across sometimes as a coach like you're chasing ghosts, but I think it's something you have to do because you've proven to be vulnerable.
Well, at this point, it's real.
The other thing, though, that you say is fascinating with this team, because you have to know your personnel and their temperament. Some guys can really take to hard coaching and hard truths. Like, you could tell Sierra Wright anything, and he's going to respond because that's just who he is. Spindler's a lot like that. Some other guys, you may have to say, now, look, we're really good at this, so this is what you have to do. You're not very good at this, so we're not going to ask you to do this. I think the level of transparency is critical with this team, Derek, because they're relatively emotionally immature. They just don't have enough experience handling multiple situations. Yeah. So you have to be as transparent as possible. And then as the adult in the room, assess how they handle receiving that information. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. It's hard to it's just a hard thing to get across in any sort of
it is. And you're under time constraints too, and it's high leverage. Right? It's not like you can just ease into it. You gotta flip, but that's the beauty of it, and that that's the challenge. The teams that can do that are the teams that are consistent. They may not be great, but they're the teams that show up every single week. And Nebraska was just getting ready to backpat themselves for showing up every single week, and they weren't mature enough to
do it again.
Yeah. Regardless of who they felt like the opponent was. It has to become a lifestyle and not just words.
Doing it before doesn't guarantee doing it again.
100%. I think it's got to be transparent, Derek. That's a fantastic question.
Perfect.
All right, buddy.
Sounds good.
We'll talk to you next week,
right,
I hope. All right, buddy.
Thanks, Derek. Let's take a super quick break here. We've got a couple bills we got to pay. Shane, hit that break. We'll come right back with Brian Christopherson in about a minute.
The Drive Into Fall event is on at Edwards Ram and Jeep, Village Point, and Council Bluffs. Get $18,000 off MSRP on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn 4x4 plus 3.9% APR for 72 months. Fearless fall savings with a massive inventory this October. Or upgrade to adventure with the 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4. These starting at $299 a month with 0 down. Big inventory, bigger savings. Hurry to Edwards Ram and Jeep, Village Point, and Council Bluffs.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Brian Christopherson, a Husker 24/7. BC, what's going on, buddy? Oh, I think you're on mute.
Hi, Brian.
Is that us or is that him, Shano?
I don't know. He hasn't said anything yet.
I think it's Brian.
Can we try again?
Let him talk.
How about now, guys?
There we go.
Hey, he hadn't even moved his lips yet. How would you know?
He did. I was watching him.
He didn't.
Listen, you don't have your glasses on. You don't know.
See what's happened? I don't see you. I don't see you in Minneapolis before the game. Nebraska takes an inexplicable, ugly L, and everybody's fighting with one another. It all goes back.
Oh, is this your fault, BC? Were you in the wrong spot?
I didn't see.
No, I wasn't in the wrong spot. I was at my press seat the whole time, just waiting. I was like looking to my left, looking to my right. When's Damon going to come down the stairwell and see me? For like 2 hours, and never happened. So it's Damon's fault.
Wow. I asked Bruns and I can't wait to talk to Bruns this week because his delivery caught me off guard. And maybe it was because I interrupted him, but I waited, which is maybe annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was good manners. He's talking to a couple of the Minnesota guys. It might have been Ryan. And I said, hey, something, Bruns. It's like, you seen BC? Is he here yet? And he gave me like this snarky response. I looked to my left and I looked to my right, and he was back talking again. So I didn't get a follow-up.
Oh,
man. He must have been knee-deep in some dialogue. But the moral of the story is I didn't see you once. And the last guy that I saw was Mike J. Schaefer. And Mike J. Schaefer had the most accurate, ominous forecast of anybody I've ever been around that only took 27 seconds. And I told him, if you're right, He goes, I don't know, just what I feel. And I'm telling you, that guy was spot on.
Yeah, his bad feels from all the previous trips up there. He had predicted the Gophers to win the game. And
even the manner in which they did it.
Yeah, he took some flack for it, but he stood on it, and he wasn't happy to be right. I know that. He would have much rather seen a Nebraska team come out and ball out. But here we are, and yeah, he called it, and we'll have to get together here before this game on
Well, at least
Saturday.
At least I know where you're sitting.
Yeah, let's make sure we do that. Maybe it'll be a different story. If we're really believing in that, by the way, I'm becoming, I guess, like one of those guys who does weird things to his baseball bat or something before he goes up to the plate.
I said this on Monday. I wasn't going to tell the story, but I caved too. So the coaches were down on some of the coaches were sitting pregame. It was early. You know, the student section had just started chanting their F Nebraska chants. And so I'm in white, and I was intentional. I was like, I'm going to wear white. So Coach Roll made some comment about the way I looked, and I was like, oh, I appreciate that. I said, I'm wearing white. It must be white. It must be the white. It's slimming. And he goes, in so many words, he goes, you're going to convince yourself of some mental narrative, some BS mental narrative to determine whether you're good at your job or not. And I was offended. I was like, that was a little hard. I don't have to really say it like that. But do you know, before we got on the team plan, I put my black vest back on and took the white.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I was like, wait a minute. Did he just Jedi mind trick me by pissing me off? I think he did.
I still don't even think he was talking about you.
He was I get what he was doing, but I don't know. I felt like
you mentioned sorry, I'm choked up about it.
It's emotional.
Yeah, it is emotional hearing you talk about it. I have this constant problem. I need feedback from people. I've tried different things. I get these frogs in my throats, and it happens all the time with talking. Sorry about that. You mentioned the F Nebraska chant before the game. You guys were hitting on that last week with Damon. I think you asked me about it, like sort of the animosity Minnesota has for Nebraska football.
I was trying to prepare people.
Yeah. And I think that played into this too. I mean, that Minnesota was a team that came to play like Nebraska had stole their girlfriend.
Yep.
And Nebraska was still feeling pretty good about itself from that comeback over Maryland. The guys sort of admitted that in interviews, this week, and it just wasn't quite the right approach. I thought Lindenmeyer had a good quote. It was like, we kind of came like we're ready to put on a show, and there's something that's okay about that vibe. But as he mentioned, it's like we needed to go to that game like we're ready for a fight, like we're going into the ring. And Minnesota was like they came out just with that extra vigor, and Nebraska was a little bit like Clubber Lang in the second fight in Rocky III.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking to some of those guys, and at some point, I don't know if you've ever been in those situations where you're in it real time and you still can't really believe that it's happening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of how they found themselves.
Yeah. Do you think so? I mean, what do you make of Rule had that comment about where it was 7-6 at halftime, and sort of the disappointment and seeing his team disappointed. I guess that I took it as like that you're sort of in that fight, like maybe you thought it was going to be easier. As someone who's been a player and a coach, like what do you think about like how you can shift that mindset? Because it did bring me back a little bit to last year with the discussion we've had all off season, honestly, about that UCLA game, which was a game where it was, it wasn't out of hand by any means. You didn't have a good first half. You're disappointed, of course, that you're down on the scoreboard, but it's right there to go get. And when he said that on Monday, it did bring me back to that scenario. And I was, I have to admit, that's a hurdle I kind of was hoping the Huskers were over, especially given the success they had in a couple earlier games this season. against Cincinnati and Maryland coming back, even Michigan State, where you have to stare adversity in the face and you have an answer. So I guess hearing that and sort of watching the second half transpire as it did is what surprised me the most.
So two things. I said this last night to Jay Moore on Big Red Wrap Up. So you have to take the good and take the bad with last year being last year.
Right.
So this team's mindset is this year's team. This is our new mindset. So with that, I'm not sure how quickly or how experienced enough they are to flash back to UCLA. A lot of those guys weren't playing. A lot of those guys don't feel what the guys that were playing felt in that locker room. So I'm not sure it's that linear because a lot of it is intentional, right? It's like flush it. Then the other thing to that, BC, if I'm talking to these guys, I'm saying, okay, hey, listen, this was new for you to handle. You had to handle some success. We talked to you guys still about having warts, and there were things that we were going to do. Some of you guys don't really believe fat meat's greasy. Some of that's on us. Some of that is on you guys. Going forward, they just have to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Now, this team can go next year or the next game or the next opportunity that, hey, we're only down one and know what not thinking correctly does. I think they just had to put this part of the chapter in their new book. That's
I got you. Yeah, that's a good answer. We'll see. We could see if ideally they get off to a better start and they're not dealing with it right away this Saturday. But yeah, that's a way to look at it, and they're going to need to do that.
And listen, and you know what? They'll be able to prepare for Shavers and not in or out or you know Spindler with. And Jess said on the broadcast she goes, I think it broke the skin. It might be a compound fracture. And I was too busy dry heaving under the table to even pay attention on whether it was or not. But you have the Spindler thing. You had the Pritchett thing. And these aren't excuses. They just aren't good enough yet to adjust to those things on the fly. And then you wake up and it's like, how did Barney only have one target? Like, how did we let them play two-man and cover an inverted cover two? Like there'll be all these things that they process that will be paramount that they don't let happen again. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got to be better.
Yeah. And it seems like they spent Sunday going over that with each other. And now we see what those sort of talks, did to the week. I know Dylan mentioned, even the players had a players only meeting. I don't want to go overboard with that. I think, that happens within a season. But it sounds like some truths were put on the table before guys and also like how everybody understands things. And so we'll see how they process that and if that's useful to them going forward. So it's never a dull week around here. And this one is certainly, it's become to me like the game, every game is the game of the season, but like, it feels like the ripple effects from this game going forward are so huge. Like it's that type of game where you've got Emmett Johnson right after in the post game saying this is a crucial week for our program, like understanding on the spot what has to happen. And then, Matt Rule saying this is that week where you have to stand up. And even the quote, of course, about, if we do these things again, then I would boo us, that sort of stuff. It's actually sort of a different dynamic than any week I've covered, and I've been doing it a bit.
When you're taking a look at kind of can you arrive at the same end game listening to Rule, Coach Butler, and Coach Holgerson? They were all very different in their pressers, but can you arrive at what you think the message is?
Yeah, the main takeaway is everybody, I think, was okay with criticism, both pointing a thumb back at themselves, but also like if someone directs it at them, understanding like, I did not do my job good enough. This guy didn't do his job good enough. And I think that's a good spot to be in, where you have at least that sort of culture where you can have honest feedback. And it's not everybody's going to get in their feels. I don't think it's that type of team where that's going to happen. Like if you had that type of team and you were softened like that, I think you'd be in real trouble right now, honestly, to have some of the candor that's been expressed. But I think we'll see. but I think this is the type of team that can deal with honest feedback. I mean, the film's the ultimate truth teller, and anything that anybody says shouldn't be harder to take than what that revealed from that game. And so,
yeah.
So I just think I think we've talked about this culture a lot on when I've been on the show, and I think it is a good culture. I was a little bit disappointed in a way, mostly because of how that game Friday went, because I sort of didn't expect Nebraska to dip like that. But this is a chance for them on Saturday to show that is not us. That was an outlier to this season. This still could be, I mean, technically could be a 10-2 season, but it could be 8-4, 9-3 type season, like about everybody predicted in the off season. What I was saying to our guys the other day is, everybody will predict like 8-4 in the summer. It's when you're in the car on the road to 8-4 during it that's not always that comfortable. People don't like some of the pit stops along the way, but hopefully this was just one of those ugly pit stops on the way to at least that sort of mark or better.
BC, do you think part of the frustration that we have as a team or as a fan base about this team is we tend to think situations are more static than they are, or maybe stable is the right word, or maybe permanent? Like when we think, hey, the culture's set, that doesn't mean there can't be a bad culture loss. Or we think, hey, because like I know personally, I think I thought to myself on Friday, like I thought we were past this type of loss. And I was like, you're never past this type of loss, right? Like that's like it's always something that's can still happen to you. I mean, he brought up like you coming off 94, 95, and 96 still happens, right? Like it's not like the culture wasn't set. It's just you're never
I mean,
it's always
it's not like we were prepared emotionally to play Texas. We weren't. Right? That's pretty good.
Like so I like. Do you think that's part of the problem? Is we think it's just more permanent than it is? It's like always in an active state.
No, that's a good point, Ravi. I mean, that's why these next couple of weeks are so important, because you can kind of prove to what you're talking about that you have
to go find it again.
Yeah, you have that type of culture where you're like, yeah, that's not us. Let's go punch back now and do it with some authority. And they have the chance. Now, if they lay an egg Saturday, you know what it's going to be around here. It's going to get pretty tough. So this is a big one. And that's why Emmett recognized it 15 minutes after the game in a spot where guys sometimes don't on the podium, like what it's got to be and what it means to this program and this particular team. And I think it's also one of those deals where you have to, and Raiola mentioned this yesterday, like you got to think about all the work you've put in all those freaking months, like, at 6 a.m. for Saturdays like this. And you can't let one disappointment in a year in college football where it's all around you, where you're seeing teams everywhere, like have a high one week and a low the next week. Okay, you had your low. Now you got to go get your high, and play the type of football you're capable of. And I mean, I like that Rule had that challenge, like the O-line, for instance, like you should, you'd rather die than let your QB get hit. That sort of stuff's like got to ring in your ears going into a game like this, and to bring that extra juice that for whatever reason just was not quite there Friday. And it felt that way even in the first half when that game was not out of hand and was clearly in reach still.
And the interesting thing is, just in hearing you say that about the O-line, and like just in talking to some of the guys yesterday, like the guy that Coach Rule was probably the hardest on was Dylan. And
sure.
And I think when you can coach one of your best players hard and in conjunction with what you say to the O-line or about your offensive coordinator,
and they can respond to it
to the about the defensive coordinator and yourself, I can't. I'm just fascinated by what a couple of days reveals when everybody's held accountable. And because that's not the key. The key is allowing yourself to be held accountable. It's a lot of people can tell you what you didn't do and what you need to do.
But that's the ownership part. That is whether you take it or not.
That's the thing.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing. Because I mean, there's a lot of bad narratives out there, and the fact that Dylan wants something a certain way, or he's running the show. Like we're not even remotely scratching the surface on the dynamics between an uncle, a nephew, a brother, and a dad, right? Like we have no idea. I'm just glad that's not my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to process there. I mean, it's just a deal where I think you saw what I can speak on is just what you see up front and what guys say. And I think you saw a quarterback, especially yesterday. It's like he held himself accountable just like the other guys. And I think there's an understanding that all those sacks and certain things that have been discussed, they're not on one position group. They're not on this one guy. It's on everybody. And that's been said for a few weeks. And sometimes people roll their eyes about it, but I do think there's an understanding that. And now it's like, all right, you go fix it. You know, they do have to go show that they can be that group that they were supposed to be and that they think they are. And, you know, Dylan's a big part of that. I think there are parts where he's got to get it out a little quicker and see some things. And Dana Holgerson admitted there's some things where he could help his quarterback out too. And so you had that sort of that talk yesterday about how everybody's got to, you know, not only see what they can do better, but see how they can help the person next to him do his part better as well.
You know, what's funny is we act like what you're hoping happens is, I won't say we act like that's, you know, if we don't like the way that a group is playing or a particular person is playing, and clearly Dylan is getting a lot of it, right, with the offensive line. Guys will say to themselves, like, if you think Dom isn't going to say, who's coaching this guy, right? And Coach Holgerson and Coach Thomas aren't going to say, well, we're coaching him, like we're like there's just this natural thing that happens where you don't want to be the reason for the treason. Right. So you just have to give it a chance to see how it reveals itself. Like, there's obviously some things Coach Holgerson's going to say because it falls at his feet. You know what I mean? He's not going to stick his head in the sand.
Yeah.
You got to coach him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just want to see on Saturday this group come out and you can tell there's a focus from the bat. I think it's going to be key, especially this week, you know, when Matt Rule was as candid as he was, even about the fans and how to maybe respond to this game and stuff like that. You don't want it to be a deal where you have those miscommunications and misassignments. That's what galled me the most sort of about Friday was like the opening script. You know, when you had a miscommunication right off the jump, and it was just sort of a bad omen and also sort of a sequence of things to come. And, you know, some of these sacks and some of the stuff is built on the miscommunication, just simple missed assignments, I think, where they've let people come free. So I think that's a big part early in this game is that hopefully everyone's got dialed in where you see an offense that's very connected and fluid and there's some success early. This crowd will get behind them if there will be that sort of we're all in this together, and it'll turn into a loud stadium if Nebraska can produce early. Now it can go the other way too, and that's why this game's pretty interesting with all that's been said.
BC, do you think they might? You know, we heard a little bit from Dana yesterday about how, you know, it's like, well, we call these run plays, but we put the pass option on there to give us like. Do you think they might try and revert to some more just traditional run plays to make sure they're running the football?
Yeah, I kind of wonder about that. I know that there's obviously a benefit in having different options up there when you're at the line and stuff, and so you don't want to throw that all away. But there is that part where I thought it was almost the most interesting thing Rule said Monday, and it was like viewed as like the 10th most interesting to a lot of people. But it was that part where he said what can we do when he's talking about the offense as opposed to
number one.
Yeah, as
what can we do versus what we want to do?
No, yeah,
versus
basically.
what we're good. No, what we're good at.
Oh, okay, yeah, what we want to do, what we're good at.
Oh, well, he said, what can we do? And then there's a part of it, I'm paraphrasing, but not this is really good versus that coverage is sort of like was part of that quote. You know, like
it's fascinating, BC, because clearly your offensive line are better run blockers. You have a really good running back, but some of your best offensive players are your wide receivers and your quarterback. So do you want to take it like that? We talked about this in the offseason.
Yeah, it's a fascinating.
That was always going to be a fascinating deal, and maybe this forces their hand because you can tell your quarterback, hey, listen, we need to protect you. We're gonna simplify. We're gonna modify. Yeah, I get it. You want to showcase this, that, and the other guys. In the meantime, while we get everybody back healthy, this is how it may have their hand forced, because in the offseason, and maybe I was wrong, it seemed like they wanted to run the ball anyway.
Yeah.
They're better run blockers.
Yeah, the offensive line is.
You know, the sequence that kind of I would highlight with this discussion is the first drive of the second half.
And they ran it down their throat.
Emmett rips it off that run. Remember, probably from our vantage point, we're kind of in that corner of the field in that press box. It's a cool setup they have, actually. But Emmett goes for about 15 yards to Minnesota's 40, and it looked like he might house it for a second. Like they just got him. And that was a time where I know maybe you've got various run pass options you can do and stuff. That was the next play was the only touch of the game Barney got, by the way. It was the one in space where a gopher corner made a good tackle for a 2-yard gain, or he would have.
Then they dump it to him and he gets the good run. And then the next play is the shot they missed to Key.
Yeah, it was a
touchdown.
touchdown.
Then they get the sack, and it's like,
which was open, by the way. Like
and it's like screwed up. But you're right. That is an interesting series.
That's where the discussion's really interesting, because they actually had 2 plays right after the Emmett run that were there. Like they almost there, like could have been touchdowns, honestly, the one to Key especially. But then there is that thought, like, Emmett just ripped off that 15-yard run, and that guy's got a determination about him, especially in a game like that. And maybe that's a deal where you look back and you say, I know I got these other things out there that can work. We're going to go back to that. But right now, this guy, just feed him again and again. And then the counter to it, an offensive coach would say, yeah, but we have a touchdown if our quarterback drops it in a key. That's why these things are always really interesting to me. And sometimes why I struggle to take a hard line take probably on some play calls, because I'll see what they saw was potentially there. But I also understand what Rule's saying right now. It's like, what can we do? Like, and sometimes I think you just got to feed that hot hand. And Emmett Johnson to me right now is that guy as much as anybody on this offense.
That's our guy, Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7, BC. Great stuff as always. We appreciate the time.
Be sizzle, as I
Thanks,
like.
guys.
Yeah, buddy.
Make sure you talk to Damon this week.
I know.
Yeah, we'll do it.
I do have to revisit with Bruns about our interaction. It's maybe I'm misremembering. It seemed brief and fairly terse, but then he walked with me down the hallway as Schaefer was lecturing me on what was going to happen in the game.
Yeah, so that's probably just your perception thing. If he walked with you, that's
of course you'd put it on me. You're going to ride with the Miller North guy.
Always.
It's fine.
Shout out to state runner-up softball team Miller North. Had a good, great season.
Well, you're a trip.
Great season. Tough to come up short there. We're going to talk to our guy Andy KENDEIGH from KETV coming up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Fearless savings this October at Edwards Chevrolet with 0 down sign and drive deals waiting for you. Get $12,000 off MSRP on the 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 1 LT Crew Cab 4-wheel drive, or lease for $555 a month with 0 down, strength and upfront savings. Or drive the 2025 Chevrolet Trax front-wheel drive LS, lease starting at $299 a month. Sign and drive with 0 down, smart design and modern tech that fits your lifestyle. Don't wait. Fearless October savings are happening now at Edwards Chevrolet.
Joining me now ahead of the 2025-2026 season for the Creighton Blue Jays. Nick, welcome to Omaha. How are we doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, and basketball season just right around the corner. How have you felt yourself blend in here, meshing with this team so far?
I think the whole experience has been great. Honestly, just getting along with the guys off the court and building camaraderie on the court. It's really been special. I'm not used to being the new guy. Obviously first and last year here. being a senior, so getting used to being new. But overall, I think it's been great.
Yeah, in your transfer process, what drew you to Creighton?
I think just a family atmosphere. I feel like a lot of people credit, the host, Ty Jackson, and I had Isaac as well. So really great host. Felt like a good family atmosphere, and felt like a place where I could come here and better myself on and off the court.
Yeah, what were some of those conversations like with the coaching staff of where you fit in on this team?
Really just, first being a great person overall. I pride myself in, having a lot of integrity, things like that. Just being a great overall person, and then obviously things on the court, it was going to come no matter what. I feel like I had a high basketball IQ, fit in with a lot of the guys on the visit, just in terms of personalities and stuff. So I feel like the basketball part would come easy.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Andy KENDEIGH from KETV. AK, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, fellas?
How we doing?
We're doing all right. Doing all right. How are you guys doing?
You seem a little subdued.
Because
No.
you must have got the memo. I just get bullied by Eddie every Sunday now.
That is true. Yeah, Damon, by the way, okay, two things. I'm a little subdued. I got a very hyper dog at my feet, and I'm trying not to excite her. So if Lucy starts barking, I'm going to have to scream at her.
Okay.
You be nice to Lucy.
I know Lucy is just she's a good dog. Good dog. Good job, Lucy. You stay quiet, okay?
Oh, jeez.
All right. And talk about talk about peppering somebody, fellas. I've got to publicly apologize to Damon. So we do these these night games on weekdays. We have shows to fill leading into game time, which is unlike Saturdays because we have college football all day. So I'm trying to get a hold of Damon. Poor Damon's trying to just focus on his pregame show. I'm like, DB, anytime you can, meet up for like 2 minutes.
Like we're on air.
Yeah, and I am that guy peppering Damon. Like, hey, dude, I know you're busy. I'm really sorry. I love how people say, I'm really sorry, but I don't mean to be a jerk, but here I go. I'm going to be a jerk. And so at one point I go, DB, we are literally standing outside in the hallway outside your door. So if you guys have a break, just let me know. He comes out, he goes, how much you need? So I said, I need 2 questions, 40 seconds. Ben, we rolling? We're rolling. Let's go.
Yep. I asked Josh back at the studio. I said, hey, how long is this break? He said, you got 4 minutes. I said, perfect.
So that's a little inside television radio for you. That's how we rolled on Friday, and I'll tell you, that was probably the high point of Friday, Damon, I have to say.
Well, so you know what's funny?
Pregame.
I don't know, and we're going to talk to Benny Mack this week, but he makes me so mad because he loves the booth. They're so good to us. We have like cubbies and, there's plenty of space. The windows open right. It's a nice press box. They had the great tribute to Sharpie, and you want to be so cool, but it's like nothing good happens anytime we're there. So I'm like, B-Mac, we got to get over this niceness thing. I think they hate it. They hate us. And he's like, no. He goes, no, not the media guys. They're cool. And I was like, those are the kind of guys that when we leave, they're like, yeah, good riddance.
Yeah, they're
like,
buttering you up.
Yep.
They're buttering you up just to kill you for the slaughter.
Buttering you up.
You know what it is, though? I'm telling you what it is. See, 2 years ago, it was the mystery meatloaf patty. This year, it was the mystery meat, whatever that chop stuff was. Like, did we ever decide whether that was chicken or pork? Because it didn't taste like anything.
Well, I was talking to Michael about this. Severe. Because we were sitting right next to each other, and I was like, "What?" He goes, "It said pork, but it was chicken." I was like, "It sure tastes like chicken." And I go, "What are we supposed to do with it? What are we supposed to do with it?" I had no idea. That was in the media pregame power rankings. That's at the bottom. I know people are very interested in what we eat before the game.
Well, because they get so happy over the dilly bars and those prepackaged cookies, and I was like, "Where's the meat?"
Well, and no dilly bars this time. I don't know if it's they're saving money for NIL, but I didn't see one dilly bar in that press box.
So where do they put? I think the strangest thing about going there is you cannot get bottled water.
No, you cannot. And here's something: if you're really trying to save money, what are you serving your Diet Cokes in 7.5 ounce cans for? Isn't that a little cost prohibitive? I mean,
I didn't know they had. I didn't know they had baby cans of Fresca either.
I mean, come on. How about some water, some Diet Coke, and let's call it good. Let's go.
This is total first world problems.
I know. Totally. People are probably rolling their eyes like, these spoiled brat. Talk about entitlement.
Yeah,
right
spoiled press box.
Now one of the team can't show up against the team.
Their media's focus on mystery meat and 7.5 ounce cans and
that's right.
Yeah,
That's
never mind. Never mind. We cover sports 18 hours a day and need a break from it. But
soft media.
Soft.
We are soft. I will not. Yeah, I'm not gonna dispute that we are soft. I'm as soft as marshmallow.
It was a busy day on Friday and Saturday. Did you get to catch any exhibition preseason basketball?
We listened to the exhibition preseason basketball on our way back, and then and I watched a bit of the Creighton game on because we record those games back at the station. I'll tell you, that makes basketball season a little more interesting, I think, especially from the Nebraska side. I don't think anybody really knew what to expect. But, man, I know one guy isn't the biggest difference, but holy cow, doesn't rink mass make a huge difference?
When he wasn't playing last year, we kept bringing him up, so maybe he does.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll tell you, man, it just runs so much smoother. And granted, he's not going to have shooting nights like he did the other day because that's just that you're asking for a lot. But holy cow, when he's on, they're going to be one of the more potent offenses with so many options. And they're going to be I think they're going to surprise some people in the Big Ten.
I can't wait till when they play Creighton and that total is at 161 and everybody's losing their mind.
Over. I thought you were going to say 180. I was like, I'll take 161. Absolutely. You want to double this bet up, DB? I'll take 161 right now.
I mean, I know you couldn't tell because of the bricks that Iowa State was laying, and Creighton couldn't get out in transition, but Creighton will be able to flat out score.
And they're missing two of their best scorers, so yeah, I think they're going to be able to.
No question.
I think they're going to be able to score.
So you guys, okay, let's go ahead. I say 163.
I will take the over right now.
AK, what do you think that total will be?
I think it's probably around that. Maybe that's a little. 163.
That's high for
that's
college,
really
you guys.
High. Yes, that's really high. I would think it's probably like 159-ish, just under 160. But yeah, I won't know.
Watch it come out at like 152.
No question.
You give me anything. Yeah. You give me anything under 168. I'm taking the over.
Right.
That's ludicrous.
Right. Well, it's gonna be. That's the thing about with Creighton that I cannot wait with Owen Freeman getting the respect to be a first team All Big East member in the preseason poll.
And listen, they got some fellas in that conference too.
That's it. I mean,
no question.
Offensively, that team is a full-on juggernaut if they get it. If they can get the chemistry down, they have so many guys. I
don't know, man. Connecticut and St. John will be legit.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to win the league. I'm saying offensively, that Creighton team is going to be a juggernaut if they can get the chemistry.
St. John is the team that scares me. I get it. UConn's getting the nod, but
St. John's was number 1 in the preseason poll.
Were they 1?
Yeah, they beat them out. They beat out UConn.
Because I was looking at the was it national? Anyway, St. John is the team to beat, in my opinion.
That's all right. We got Dan Hurley's number anyway. Not worried about it.
Hey, how about – so are you guys – and Nebraska's going to need this for football too, but how invested are you in Peacock if you want to watch hoops? Like, apparently we're going to need Peacock, right?
Oh, no question. We have a subscription at the station, no question. And the thing about, again, nobody wants to hear first world problems, but it's tough. It's tough to navigate when you're navigating that and other things going on at the same time. Let's just put you that way.
I thought the Big East meet it looked nice on Peacock. Big East Media Days.
Oh, the quality is
great.
It's just it's a flexibility issue for us, and like if you want to watch that and something else, it's tough to navigate. But I know first world problems. But the Peacock thing, I'm actually been impressed with the stuff that I see there. And the beauty about Peacock, and if you guys know this, I mean, if you're preparing for a team that you haven't seen a whole lot of film on or game tape, you can go back and check out what they have. They have full games in the archive. You just, I want to watch, such and, pick your teams and you go watch the game over again. And it's pretty amazing.
I don't love what do you call it when you have to maneuver through it's not the mechanics of it. Like they're fast forwarding.
Oh, like the interface?
Yeah. I don't love the interfacing of it, but aesthetically it's pretty good. How about the 11 a.m. or FS1 on Saturday? How pumped are you, AK?
Well, I have. This tells you where I've how my career has evolved. I used to despise 11 a.m. starts, and I know fans hate them.
Now you want to get home and get to bed.
Yeah, exactly. Have a couple pops. Have a couple Diet Coke, maybe something stronger, and then hit the hay. But 11 a.m. I'm right up my alley. Whatever, let's do it. 11 a.m. Now I do worry, though, with the tone being set in Lincoln, I'm not as worried. But 11 a.m. sleepy starts are usually the concern. But I don't.
There'll be one team that won't be sleepy.
Yeah, I have zero concern after hearing what's coming out of Lincoln this week. No question. I am interested and intrigued by, how those 11 a.m. starts are. Sometimes fans are a little crankier than normal, and especially coming off the game they have. I'm wondering how much grace they give this team if something goes sideways early. You know what I mean? And you'll hear those grumblings.
Yeah.
But I am convinced that this football team will be ready and raring to go on.
We'll just tell ourselves that it was over the officiating and not the play on the field. That's right. They're just upset with the officials. It's okay.
Yep. No question.
That's what I heard. I heard him booing a bad no face mask call. That's all I heard. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
That's all I heard.
What are you expecting to see from Northwestern? Because you know what's funny talking to their folks? They're kind of like, oh yeah. We've kind of been here before with this good start, and people start saying good things about us, and then it gets away from us. Isn't it weird how there's always another side to the coin?
No doubt. Well, I think that I know nationally everybody's surprised about this team. I wonder how surprised they are internally about how successful they've been so far. Obviously they're not the most dynamic team offensively, and that's putting it nicely, but they can rush the ball. And what's Nebraska struggled with this year? And that's stop of the run. So they've got a couple guys that can run it. This, how do you say his name? Komalafi. Yeah. And this guy's.
You can just call him
Caleb.
Right, CK something.
We'll call him CK.
It's Komalafi.
Komalafi. All right. And then there's this Hyman guy, and Joseph Hyman, who led the team in rushing last week. These guys, they can run the ball. And if Nebraska's got to prove that they can stop the run, and then they got to prove that they can run the football on the offensive side of the ball, Nebraska does. And And I think if we've learned nothing else, that people want to see more of Emmett Johnson. It was so funny. What was the talking points the first couple games? We got to manage Emmett's load. You know, he can't be the one guy. And now, like, we're mid-season, everyone's like, give the ball to Emmett.
Yeah, my favorite is do we have an RB2? We don't give him the ball enough as is. It's like, all right, guys, my bad.
Yep. All good. But I think at this point you do whatever you can. You push every button you got, and if Emmett's your guy, you ride that horse, right? I mean, he's the guy. He's the guy, no question. And you got to give him the ball. And I understand the frustration when the Huskers come out and go pass, but getting a little more clarity yesterday that that there were designed runs on those first 3 plays, and it just didn't work out. I think that kind of gives a little more explanation to the situation.
Yeah, and you could tell, too. I said to KC there during the play, I said, well, he's reading RPO and Hunter's blocking. He clearly didn't get the check with me. You know what I mean?
He thought it was
a run all the way.
Yeah.
Yep, no question, no doubt. And that's why, when you go back and you just look at the box score, you look at the play-by-play and stuff, that's a little dangerous than watching in real time. That's why, that's why being there. And I was listening. It's funny listening to you guys on like 1 play delay, which I do. And I'm like, I'll see something on the field. I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to hear them call this play, Yeah.
Do you feel like you're getting smarter, AK? No pressure.
Oh my God, totally.
Oh,
well, the thing
knock
was,
it off.
BB,
I feel like I get dumber by the minute.
Well, when you said,
"Yep,"
you're like, "Is this not a carbon copy of this play, this long run, this long run, this long run?" And I'm like, "Yeah, 100%."
Yeah, anecdotally, all the long. What I tell you, 20. I said, just clip them.
Mm-hmm.
The runs of 20 yards or more, almost all look the same.
Yeah.
So if I'm Nebraska. If I'm
Yeah,
Nebraska, I'm
listen,
practicing against that scheme, whether I've seen them run it or not. Ray scored on it. Michigan had 2.
Marshall and Haynes both. Yeah.
And you gave it up to Taylor. They all look the same.
Yeah. Yeah, and wasn't it funny too that people were like, "Oh, Taylor, he's nothing. He's banged up. He's not the same back," and all of a sudden, pow! They're like, "Oh, he's pretty good. He looks pretty good to me."
I still like Edgy Boy better, but Taylor's good.
I believe it's pronounced Easy Boy.
Easy Boy. I just call him Femi. Femi. He's AK's boy.
That's what I said. That's because
he's my
AK,
guy.
he's my boy.
Yeah, that's right.
It's fine. Just for the record, don't worry about me, AK. The pregame show will start at 7 on Saturday.
Okay, I will promise you this, DB. I'm not going to bug you before the game, other than to just say hello, and I'll probably be more. I have my head on a swivel to say hello.
You do realize we're back home, right?
I know.
You'll see very little of me.
He'll be knocking on the window and be like, DB, can I get a segment? Can I get a segment?
David has some tremendous footwork in the media dining hall. It's like
he's in and out. Ring. He's like a ghost.
Rope-a-dope. Oh yeah. He's got his footwork going. He's in, he's out. He grabs the soda or grabs whatever he needs. It's like trying to catch
smoke.
He ain't gonna get it all.
AK, we appreciate the time as always.
Friends like you guys.
That's right.
I'm glad I'm like Lone Wolf McQuade.
I'm just saying. Never mind.
Damon Chuck Norris. All right, AK. I'll see you Saturday,
All
buddy.
right. Fellas, we'll see you.
Later.
Thanks, boys.
That's Andy Kennedy from KETV. I'm just
Shane. You ever seen Lone Wolf McQuade?
A few times, yes.
You probably had a thing for Carradine's, his little boo, didn't you?
I just thought it was cool when they buried the truck and he drove it out of the ground.
Oh, that was cool.
That seems unrealistic.
Who was the lady that?
What's the name of the movie? Lone Wolf McQueen.
McQuade.
Lone Wolf.
It's Chuck Norris.
Okay.
She went through a spell where she was in a lot of movies.
Yeah, she was in a Bond movie.
Barbara Carrera.
Yep.
Or Dana Kimmel.
Dark hair,
Barbara.
brown skin.
It's Barbara.
Barbara does not have dark hair. She's like a ginger. Barbara is. So that's Dana Kimmel. That's Barbara.
This her.
Yeah, that's so Dana Kimmel. Do you think she was a Bond girl too? We'll check here. See what we got.
I'm pretty sure.
She's closer to what you described than
Shane.
Than the other one.
Let me just look here.
Than the redhead. I don't know.
Listen.
Yeah, she's. I don't think she's a Bond girl. She was a Charlie's Angel, or in Charlie's Angels.
That's her.
One of the Charlie's Angels.
That's her.
No, but Barbara was a Bond girl.
Oh, so the other one was a Bond girl, but you were thinking of the dark-haired one. Maybe.
I'm talking about the dark-haired girl. Shane is talking about.
They're both kind of dark-haired, I guess. Though she had red hair in the other one. Oh, this one's from Nicaragua. She's the one you're talking about. That's Barbara Carrera. That's the other one.
Yeah, that's the one that was the Bond girl.
All right.
We're talking about the same girl.
I don't know.
You
pointed to Damon.
That was Chuck Norris's girl in that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. She's 79 now.
That's about right.
Good for
Because
her.
I was 12.
Born in 1945.
Yeah. It's a good thing I can control.
Well, on that note.
Yeah, right, because I sure was about to get myself in trouble.
I'm just saying, if you didn't have friends like me, you'd have rotten fish on your porch. That's all I'm saying.
I appreciate that. Even though you made fun of how I vacuum sealed it.
Well, listen, I can't be nice all the time.
I'm going to eat I'm having that halibut this weekend.
You know, if you can't
I'm going to make my mom some.
Ooh, halibut's
nice.
good.
She did something nice for me.
If you're like me and you can't be nice all the time, though, you can still make a big difference if you can be nice 4 hours a month with Big Brothers Big Sisters, because that's all it takes to make a big difference in a kid's life. You don't got to be perfect. It's about showing up, and you won't do it alone. Big Brothers Big Sisters support you every step of the way. Go check it out, learn more, and sign up at bbbsmidlands.org. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
Fall into fearless savings this October at Edwards Nissan with upfront deals you can point to. Lease the 2025 Nissan Sentra SV starting at $249 a month for 36 months with $0 down. Sleek design, smart tech, and incredible efficiency. It pays to make the drive to Edwards Nissan.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I think he's referencing the fact that I didn't call the game as aggressively as I had planned. You know, we started off pretty strong the first two drives, got into a decent rhythm, and then after that explosive run, you know, that probably affected me more than it should, and it shouldn't. You know, every play has its own life. So what's going to happen on the next play is not about what has happened on the previous play. So kind of a what's next mentality. I've got to stick to the plan and say, regardless of what happened on the previous play, we still got to approach the game with an aggressive mentality. A little bit of a learning experience for, I think, all of us. but I don't disagree with that. I think it's an emphasis every week. You really get you get takeaways two ways, through dominant contact on the body to the ball carrier. So whether it's a running back, a receiver, a tight end, knocking the hell out of them with dominant contact at or around the ball. And the second way is affecting and hitting the quarterback. So I have to do a better job of designing things and calling things that are going to do that. And I think the takeaways will come as we get that accomplished. So.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We've talked about that, but talking about it's one thing and feeling it's the other. You know, I mean, you watch every game, college football, and the NFL. I mean, that pocket's violent, you know, and so you got to put yourself in his shoes and make him feel comfortable and make him, you know, understand timing. You know, he's a vet at that, and he does a really good job of that when he's comfortable, you know, and so that starts with me, and that's my job to make sure that he is.
Welcome back. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Maybe. There he is. Mitch, how are we doing this morning?
Maybe.
I'm great. How are you guys?
I like the enthusiasm. That's the first great we've had today.
Yeah.
Good.
Caught me off guard. What makes
bringing up the energy a little bit.
We need that sometimes, you know. As you know,
we could tell you guys needed it.
DB can be a very morose person.
Yeah,
you know,
that's me.
Well, I mean, I'm not going that far. But...
Thank you. Thank you.
Jeez,
you're working.
You jumped a couple levels there, Ravi.
He's incorrigible. Nobody believes me.
See, I hear incorrigible, so I was like, yeah, let's do it.
No, that's
oh, different thing.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
One starts with an E. One starts.
I just saw the Bobby Witt Jr. thing there underneath my name on the stream.
Do you like those? Big Bobby Witt Jr. guy.
Sure, even in on October where he's not playing.
That's all right. You can still be a fan.
Oh, for sure. It's just a reminder that he's not playing when I see that there. But you know, some of us are happy that our teams are playing right now. Others are not. David.
Back to the old morose thing.
You don't know any.
Guess I'm going back to Dr. Frowny Pants.
You don't have a lot of Blue Jays fans in your life.
I don't. My son Zach asked me last night if he thought it was okay if he cheered for the Dodgers because in the World Series, because we just don't have any connection to the Blue Jays or like any real. That was fun seeing Springer hit the homer the other night, and we kind of had a good moment in the living room when that was going on. But that's just baseball. I have Dodger fans in my life. Not just you, Damon. I got some family that are deeply connected to the Dodgers, deeply rooted with the Dodgers. So I'm cool with back to back.
You know, like we could make it a patriotic thing, right? You know, like
sure.
This versus there's lots of things we could do, Mitch. You know, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, see if he can hit 5 home runs.
Pretty patriotic right there.
I was gonna
There was like a semicolon and a pause.
Ohtani and Yoshitomo. Yes.
Okay.
Go USA.
Okay.
Shohei has 3 home runs and
Roki USA.
Okay. Shane, could you hear the semicolon and like a change of thought?
It was dotted.
Thank you. Thank you. It wasn't in addition to numbnuts. All right, Mitch. I want to ask you something because you know the family. And I know we sometimes should be above like the narratives and stuff, but I do find something hilarious where I know Dom really, really well. Right? Just talked to him yesterday. And you know the family, you know Dylan. kind of the dynamics. Are you surprised that the narrative or the perception is that he either doesn't want to be coached hard or doesn't like to be coached hard? Because you talk to his dad or to Dylan or like the commitment in the offseason, there couldn't be anything further from the truth, but that seems to be the perception.
Is that like an outside of Nebraska narrative? Because
I don't know.
I don't sense that in the state
message
here.
boards in our stream because our chat is just out of control.
It does not take. Yeah, I'm glad you prefaced that by saying I know the family. I talked to Dylan's mom on the field before the game, and it was a different vibe for the Raiolas at Minnesota because Dom stayed home.
Yeah, he was
Dayton
back.
had a game, so Dom was back in Georgia. They were split up for the weekend, and usually they're all able to all be together. But Taylor and Yvonne were there, and so yeah, I mean, I think like I say that because I know them and what they represent when it comes to learning and just their approach to the game of football. Like the whole family, it isn't just Dom and Dylan and Dayton. Like it's all of them. It's a insult to say that Taylor and Yvonne, who were there to support Dylan on Friday, like are not just as invested and as much a part of what goes into his preparation and his coachability as his dad, who played 14 years in the NFL. They absolutely are huge part of his makeup. And it couldn't be further from the truth to say it's like the exact opposite of that. He wants to be coached hard. He's hard on himself. You see him do all of the right things off the field when it comes to accepting responsibility and acting like a pro through every moment of
his body, get the body fat, like everything.
Yeah, if that's who you are and that's the way you approach the game, then I think it goes without saying that you want to be coached hard and you're open to criticism. You're open to all kinds of methods to improve your game. Like just because we don't see it like in a linear way, like every single week, it's a little bit better. Like it's just not natural in how the game works. There are going to be setbacks. There are going to be moments where it looks like it's disjointed. And, we saw some of that. Like we saw a lot of really good at points in the Maryland game. And then there was not much about anything that happened for Nebraska, outside of, including the quarterback play and outside of it, there was not much of anything about that Minnesota game that you can take away and say that was a step forward. It was just one of those nights where everything went the wrong way.
Yeah. Mitch, have you been taken aback at all by sort of the things that Nebraska fans have chosen to focus on? It's not an indictment. To me, I walked away from that and be like, oh man, they were bad everywhere. Like that was just my takeaway. And it seems like the focus outside has been, they were bad in like one or two very specific areas that make us particularly frustrated. And not like, I walked away just being like, oh, nobody played well. That was just a whole other thing. Not, oh no, the offense is broken, or oh no, the defense is broken. I was just like, oh, they just didn't show.
Yeah. I mean, there are areas that stick out because Minnesota's never had a game with 9 sacks. And I still don't have any confirmation 100% on this, but I don't think Nebraska's ever had a game where it allowed 9 sacks. So if it has, it's been like once. Like it doesn't matter. It was an anomaly. It was maybe not even an anomaly. It was like because this team had a game this year where it gave up 7 sacks. So it was the worst of a few bad moments with the pass rush, the pass protection this year. I walked away from it the same way as you, just thinking it snowballed on Nebraska, and it's going to have to be something that you can't just flush it right away. And I think you've seen that from the team this week. And maybe some of that is brought on by our view of seeing them for me, I see them in press conferences not in team meetings and practice and all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. And I don't know if the press conferences have been representative of what's happening behind the scenes. Probably not. I think they move forward a little more quickly than it's looked like on the outside. Like they had to get that out of their system on Sunday. And I think they did, and then they've been asked about it. And to their credit, like they've stepped up and answered the questions. Like Matt Rule set the tone on Monday by going as deep as he did. He didn't have to go that deep, but that's what he does in his Monday session with the media. And then the players and the coordinators yesterday were really on the hot seat. Like they had, if Rule's going to do that, then they had to step up and respond to the stuff that he said. There were so many questions asked of the players and coordinators yesterday that were directly related to comments that Rule made on Monday. Like there was no way around it. They couldn't just turn the page. Now we're at Wednesday, and I think everybody can just start to move forward, outside, inside. But I think inside, for the most part, they probably did that on Sunday, and that's good because it was such a bad night that if you like live in that for 72 hours, 96 hours after, then you're not setting yourself up to rebound this Saturday.
Mitch, it seems like a lot of us, and I was a little taken aback, and I shouldn't be, but I do get a little defensive when things are taken out of context. It's not like I've had a talk show for 20 years, but were you a little taken aback at people not understanding the context in which Coach Butler was answering a follow-up question? And would you like to set the stage for Coach Butler's answer about why he got away or got spooked in Taylor's long run?
Well, Rule came out and said on Monday that he thought the defensive game plan was a little too vanilla for him. And Butler had to go in, whether he went into Tuesday knowing he was going to get asked about that or not, and I'm sure he did, because like Holgorsen, he was fully aware. Holgorsen said that he sat down and watched the press conference with Rule, which is probably a good idea if you're the offensive coordinator coming up.
Wild?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you have to, because you need to know what you're going to get asked. Like, you don't want to look like a fool. We've had situations in the past where the offensive coordinator has been unprepared to answer a question, and it ends up becoming like a whole thing.
Well, yes and no, right? Because a lot of times, Mitch, your coaches will tell you to your face before they take the podium, right? So a lot of times you do have a general idea. Like we went through a bizarro world stretch with what you're describing. Like you just had no idea what was being said because he didn't talk to him enough. And
some of that is the job of Keith Mann and his staff too, to say, hey, media relations, you're probably going to get asked this. So, and this would be a good week for them to have beefed up that part of their repertoire. So back to Butler. He's responding to a question about an answer that Matt Rule gave on Monday. And it's been remarkable, I guess, from my perspective, because like this is what I do is talk to these people on these press conferences. I don't know if remarkable is like quite the right word when you look at it in the big picture of football, but it's been very interesting nonetheless to see the transformation that John Butler has made from just a year ago or like 16 months ago to right now, because he was kind of scared of his own shadow when it came to how to answer questions from the media when he got to Nebraska. And that's a direct result of the NFL mentality and who he worked for. And I have not studied Sean McDermott. I don't know like what he's like with the media and the public, but in talking to my coworker who covers the Bills and got to know Butler a little bit after he quit his job as secondary coach, I was told, wow, like there's a lot there with that guy. He's a really interesting guy, but we never got to see that as a coach because they had been conditioned in that organization to basically not say anything. So he's gone from that, and that's where he started. That was like the baseline at Nebraska, where he
Mhm.
came out and it was uncomfortable. It was awkward. Like he didn't know, like, am I supposed to talk here? Am I supposed to like really give insight? To the place where he was at on Tuesday and he called himself a sheep. He's like, I'm not, sometimes we have sheep moments. And then he also said, I don't back down from a fight. But like for him to like publicly acknowledge that he had this moment where he was acting like a sheep, and I hope I'm not putting words in his mouth, but like he used that phrase. What is really interesting to see, and it shows a lot of growth on his part. So if he's experiencing that same kind of growth in like all areas of his experience at Nebraska, then like that bodes well for the defense. And like you want to have patience with this guy because he's going to figure it out.
And you and I, behind the scenes, had this very conversation in Indianapolis 2 years ago. Do you remember?
About Butler?
Yes. And
no.
Well,
he had just arrived.
Yeah, coming out of the media.
Yeah,
dealing with the media.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of how it was going to be hard to get into the trust level of how he was covered in the media.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that conversation now?
I remember talking about that.
Yeah. So I said to Ravi this morning, I said I didn't mean to sound defensive of Butler, but I do think I was bothered by the fact we took his answer out of context. Like we weren't mature enough to handle somebody just being authentic and taking some self-eval, which 85% of us aren't really willing to do. He put it out there, and then we turn around and we use it against him as if none of us have ever had the course of our day changed at our job by an event that's happened. Right?
Most of us probably wouldn't admit the things that he admitted. He didn't need to say that he got vanilla, he didn't need to say specifically in what way he got vanilla. He did not need to say, I overreacted to the run from Darius Taylor. Like that's above and beyond, I think, what maybe even Rule thought he would do. And Rule, I think whether it was intentional or it's just kind of inherent in what he does and how he answers questions and the way that he wants his coaches to have to also face the music. He set all these guys up on Tuesday, be it the players and especially the coordinators. He set them all up to have to answer some hard questions, to have to talk about entitlement if you're the players, who all got asked about that. And, there were a variety of answers there. And the coordinators to specifically get into parts of their game plan that he criticized on Monday. So that's what he wants. That's like ultimately what Rule wants, to put people in uncomfortable situations, because that is what leads to growth and self-improvement.
I thought it was interesting, when we kind of take those comments, and it was a follow-up to the question too with Butler. Yeah. We're kind of leaving out, but it's almost like we've never, you ever have a bad interaction with a customer, it sets the tone for the day, right? You have a bad interaction with a student or a parent calls, it sets the tone for the rest of the day. Schedules happen in court, it can set the tone for the rest of the day. We just don't say, well, hey, my schedule from my legal sec, it set me back 2 hours and it screwed. He just said it, and then it's like, I can't believe this middle school guy is coaching guard. Like, really, guys? Like, how do we lack the perspective of somebody just knowing and telling us what the issue was? Like, wouldn't we want to know? I wouldn't use it against him. I'd be encouraged by it.
I'd rather know that he knows what the problem was.
You know what? Does that make sense, or I don't know.
Well, the only thing I'd say here is, fortunately, I don't live in too much. I probably should do more in like the cesspool of like what's being said by like the lowest common denominator of fan intelligence and fan understanding. You see some of that on social media.
I didn't say that.
Well, I don't know where all this stuff's coming from. Like, John Butler's a middle school coach, and Dylan Raiola doesn't take coaching well. Like, this is news to me. I'm not hearing the. I'm not hearing.
You got to do this every day.
Yeah, right. I'm not hosting a talk show and like looking in the chat comments, and fortunately for my sanity, like I can try to, and sometimes I fail because I look at the. I have comments on on my stories or on our YouTube podcast the same as you do, and I kind of try to stay away from it because most of it is, not most of it. Like there's a lot of smart fans out there, of course. Like Nebraska has some of the smartest fans in all of college sports, but like you can get pretty deep into the mud too. And for me, I think like I hope that's where that stuff is coming from with the criticism of Butler for making the You can criticize John Butler all you want for like how he called that game, but to criticize him for the way that he answered that question yesterday, no. And like the stuff with Dylan too, he takes coaching well. Like that, talk to from John Kitna, who was his coach as a freshman in high school in Texas, all the way on up to everyone who's had a hand in working with that guy, and you'll hear nothing but that.
I think that sometimes, Mitch, I maybe overcorrect when I listen to these press conferences because I was so annoyed, is I think the nicest way I can put it, about the previous staff who didn't feel like they gave you anything, didn't feel like they took accountability publicly for anything. That when I hear Butler say, I was a little sheepish or however he phrased it, like I'm all for it, right? I'm just like, tell me everything. Like I would rather know that you at least are aware of what's happening, because if you don't give me anything and then it still looks like it does on the certain way on the field, I'm left with the assumption that you don't know.
You would hope that they do.
You would hope so, but like you're not saying it and I'm not seeing it. What am I left to believe, right?
Most of these guys didn't just like trip and fall into these jobs. Like they've even on the staffs that ultimately failed and fell apart for whatever reason, like they knew football and they understood what was happening. In a lot of instances, though, and it's always a reflection of the head coach. In a lot of instances, they just don't want to give you anything. I mean, you know that. I'm not saying it's, and that's what it is here with Rule, because Rule's approach to this, whether it's through his Monday sessions with the media or his podcast or his Pat McAfee interviews, or going back in front of the media on Thursdays and back in front of the media on Saturdays and whatever else he decides to do, like he's all about letting people in and letting them, see how the sausage is made. He talks about it all the time, about how he loves NFL films. And he had this epiphany that, hey, if that's what he likes when he consumes football, then he ought to just give it to the fans too, who are the ones that allow him to do this job. So the assistant coaches and to some degree the players, like they feed off of that energy, and that's why you see John Butler having this transformation where he goes from not saying anything to saying, you might say, dare we say, I won't say it, but too much on Tuesday.
That is our guy, Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, great stuff as always. We appreciate the time and hope we have a less cesspool-y fan base this weekend.
Pretty good that it's at 11, right? Get it out of the way early. Let's get this thing cracking. These guys got to be pretty pissy.
I'm sure they'd play today if they could.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you want.
You're probably right. Mitch, great stuff. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
That is Mitch Sherman from The Athletic.
You do not want to be waiting around for this game.
No, you kind of chomping at the bit a little bit.
You hope so.
You want to get after it.
Yeah.
If you got the right mentality, I think so. I would tend to agree. Let's take a quick break here. We're going to talk to our guy Bill Bender from the Sporting News, get a little national college football perspective. But before we do that, I got to tell you, fraud awareness is incredibly important nowadays. You get phone calls, text messages, emails, even DMs on social media. Scammers are always trying to find ways to get your information and get access to your accounts. At Centris Federal Credit Union, they're there to help you educate on the best ways to protect yourself and your account. Cybersecurity Awareness Month is right now. Be sure to check out Centris Members Protection Area on their website, centrisfcu.org, to learn the latest information about frauds and scams so that you can be protected. Federally insured by NCUA. We'll be right back with Bill Bender.
Kia Fall Savings Event is on at Edwards Kia. Fall into fearless savings with upfront deals on your favorite models. Lease a 2025 Kia Soul LX starting at $189 per month for 24 months with $2,000 due at signing. Style, efficiency, and a price that moves you. Smart looks, fearless savings. Or lease the 2025 Kia Carnival EX starting at $389 per month for 24 months with $2,000 due at signing. Comfort and tech made for every family adventure. Hurry, the Kia Fall Savings Event ends November 3rd at Edwards Kia.
Faces of the Creighton Blue Jays, Owen Freeman. Owen, how are we doing today?
Good. Really happy to be here.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to Omaha. What's been your impression of the Creighton campus and just getting implemented with this team?
Yeah, Coach Mack really sold the family feel here at Creighton, and it's been nothing but that. Whether that's on campus or here with the guys, everyone just kind of seems like family and has a tight-knit bond.
Yeah. So, what were your conversations early on with the coaching staff to get you over to Creighton?
Yeah, Coach Mack was texting me right from the beginning since I entered the portal, and he just said he wanted to coach me, and it'd be a fun opportunity just to welcome me to the family, and that's what it was, and it was a super easy sell for me.
How about having Josh Dix here with you?
Yeah.
Coming over from the Iowa Hawkeyes, how special was that?
Really special. I tried to give him my recruiting pitch too after I committed, so it's super special to have a guy that you've been through like these games with and my career with, so it's a lot of fun.
Centris Federal Credit Union, we understand that the journey of building your own business typically starts with modest beginnings. With a little help from our team of experts and small business loan offerings, you can take your vision and transform it into a more concrete reality. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, where in a week and a half you can join us for our only live show of the season. October 31st, special Halloween edition right here at 7 a.m. You can get in the doors at 6:45, and we will have an all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet for $15.
Phoebe buffet.
Oh, I see what you did there. I was more of an Ursula guy myself, but
it's because you're a big smelly cat guy.
Phoebe was Smelly Cat. Ursula was the waitress. Come on,
Smelly
man.
cat.
Come
smelly
on,
cat.
man. Got to know your friends.
No, I can't. I'm still embarrassed that I even got into that for a second.
Well, it was a super.
At least some of the other weird shows I like aged well.
Like which ones?
Dawson's Creek. Ally McBeal.
I don't know that Dawson's Creek aged well.
Well, because you hate, like...
No, I'm just like, it was kind of a weird, like, teen drama. Like, Ally McBeal, I think, is
You
well...
were rocking with Katie Holmes?
No, I
What
definitely
about the big head dude that played quarterback in Varsity Blues?
James Vanderbeek?
Yes.
I don't want your life.
What about like Josh? I said Josh Pate. Pacey.
It's Josh Jackson, Joshua Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, I was a big Mighty Ducks guy, so that's my Josh.
Don't act
Jackson.
like I had bad taste in actors.
I'm not saying the actors. I'm saying like the show itself. I don't know how well.
Well, they don't get better gigs if that thing was poop.
Joshua was a good actor.
Josh Jackson's a good actor. The
Yeah.
Skulls. You watch The Skulls?
No.
Oh, you wouldn't like that. It's like a secret college society movie about all the different clubs at the Ivy League schools.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's got Josh Jackson. You'd like it.
Well, I'm sure they discriminate, right?
No, there's a lot of minorities in that movie.
Well, it doesn't have to be against my. God. It's always just always have to get your shot in.
Go to Eventbrite and search for Hurrdat Sports Live to RSVP for your tickets. We'll also have some awesome giveaways, including our friends from Omaha Steaks are going to have a basket to give away as well. Ooh. So they're going to have some goodies for you if you come here. You got to be present to win, so make sure you come check it out. We've got our friends at Omaha Steaks helping us out there as well.
Friends is right. They flew me out to Michigan when I had a scheduling conflict.
Oh, yeah. Omaha Steaks is legit. We love those guys.
Yeah, I got the nice gift bag.
Yeah.
Somehow they had cookies. I didn't know they diversified their portfolio like that. They had like these big old. She's like, I heard you like oatmeal raisin. I said, ooh, are you a listener?
We've done UP1. We've done a couple tailgates with them this year. They're great. We love them.
Oh yeah,
we love those guys. So make sure you come hang out. We've gone to their place a couple times. Now they're coming to our place to help us out with the live show. So make sure you come check it out. We're going to talk to Bill Bender here in just a second.
You are looking live. Are you still mad about the coaching and truth telling thing?
Oh, no, I'm not mad. So I think Mitch misunderstood my question a little bit because I wasn't saying they didn't know football. I was saying previous staffs, and you brought this up as a good point, not just for us. This was common among many staffs Nebraska's had, is I'm not sure they all had the ability to take self-inventory in the same way that this staff does, right?
Yeah, we saw Callahan run from it.
Pelini buried his head in the sand.
Yeah, Bo fought it.
Yeah, like he thought everybody was out to get him.
Riley, we didn't take serious.
Even
though he actually tried
he really did.
Authentic.
Yes, and he was authentic. We just didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then now we think, oh, well, he's sheep and whatever. We lose our minds. And it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I would rather that than the other.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Right now, I'd rather talk to our friend Bill Bender from the Sporting News, talk a little college football. Bill, how are we doing this morning?
Hey, thanks for having me on. How are you guys?
We're good. It's not a bad place in your neck of the woods to be a sports fan, I'm guessing, about this time of the year. Do you dabble in the NBA? Because you could add the Cavs to that too.
I do. A little bit of NFL for us at Sporting News. The Cavs should be very good this year. I mean, obviously the team 15 minutes from my house is pretty good at college football.
Yeah.
And this is that's an understatement, right? But this is that time of the year where I'm looking out at my backyard and the leaves are on the ground and it's starting. The temperature's changing a little bit. I always enjoy October a lot. December not as much.
Yeah, we had a sports equinox the other day, didn't we? We had all four major sports going at the same time. Yesterday, right? Not yesterday. 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days. No, because the NBA
hadn't started yet. No, it's Friday. Friday's the sports equinox. It's tomorrow. It's Friday this week. You got all four of them.
But Bill, can I go back to something you just said about the team that's pretty good 15 minutes from your house? How good? Can you tell how good they are defensively, or do you need to see something else?
No, they're really good. And the scary thing is they're better than they were last year.
Defensively.
And I can tell you a couple reasons I think why. Matt Patricia's one. he's been able to put these guys in, the right positions. Arvell Reese at the linebacker position with Sonny Styles. They're fast. They're playmakers. They're new-aged NFL-type linebackers. That's who those two are, and they're very good at it. I mean, you have Caleb Downs on the back end, and then the
Reese is better than his stats because they're not jaw-dropping. You just know he's really good.
Don't you think he's better than the edge rushers they had last year? And both of those guys are in the NFL.
I do. He's the complete package.
Correct. And I think he's a top 5 pick, and that's the unexpected part. And then you have Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson's back. They're, for whatever reason, I mean, they're just strangling teams, quite frankly. And they did that to Wisconsin last week. So I think they are better than last year, which who says that after you send 14 guys to the NFL draft?
Yeah.
Bill, here, I'm trying to figure out do you trust Julian Sayin passing the ball more than you did Will Howard?
I think so. That's the other.
I do too.
Interesting.
And is that wrong? I don't.
No, I think it's right.
Part of that is throwing to Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, Brandon Ennis, and but I looked at this stat this week, and I have it downstairs, so I'm going to do the best I can here. He has an 80% completion percentage. Okay, the guys, the top 5 single season completion percentages in college football history, guys like Bo Nix, Mac Jones, Kellen Moore,
I think Dylan
Colt
Gabriel's
McCoy,
in there,
and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, and I got them all 5 of them. And those 5 quarterbacks lost a grand total of 4 games in those seasons. So, I mean, think about it. You will go watch a 7-on-7, and guys don't complete 8 out of 10 passes. It's unbelievable what they're doing on that end too.
So, Bill, are you is Ohio State number 1 in the country for you?
They are, but they are to me a notch above everybody else. But I'm not saying that. I'm not looking at them and saying, "Oh, they can't. Nobody can beat them," because I watch Indiana. I'm like, man, I want to kind of see this. Because Indiana is better than they were last year. Each week I watch Alabama and Ty Simpson. I'm like, kind of want to see that one.
Their offense against Ohio State's defense would be fascinating.
And my eyes tricked me last week. True confession, I was probably on radio hits all over the place saying I really want to see Miami play them.
Me too.
I still kind of do.
Me too. I'm right there with you.
I know they lost, but you kind of build that in. But I really like Miami's offensive and defensive fronts. And let's just be honest, Carson Beck had a nightmare evening against the Louisville team that was very ready for that game.
I told our spotter that Louisville would win the game outright, and he looked at me like I was crazy because I think that morning on the show I said Miami might be one of the most complete teams in the country.
Yeah. Well, why did
which is it?
Why did you think Louisville? I mean, I know the Brahms giant killer thing, but what led you to that conclusion? Was it that just
so two things. One, I felt like he's good enough to neutralize their pass rush, and I wondered what was behind the pass rush. But two, it's this not fancy. I said it all week. It's a Cristobal thing. I just didn't like the spot for how good I felt Louisville was and where the game sat. Like I said, this is a game that Cristobal doesn't win.
He finds and you build those in though. Now you can build that into the season because it's a 12 team and now. But what it did was the ACC race. When you really take a hard look at it, you're like, wait a minute, Virginia, what?
Yeah,
Louisville's got a chance.
Georgia Tech
just keep winning games. So there's no guarantee Miami will get to that ACC championship game. So they better not lose again. They play SMU in a few weeks. That'll be a good game.
Bill, is Georgia Tech good?
I love them because I don't know. I don't know what the proper answer is because I think like their defense is not great. Their defense gives up a ton on the ground. But I kind of like the teams that they're winning in our face a little bit. Like Duke was favored. Yeah. And I love Haynes King's toughness, how you got his quarterback that he's not dynamic in the passing game, but he's carrying it 20 times. They remind me of like a high school football team in a good sense. You know what I mean? Like they rely on their quarterback. They play tough defense. They take a cue from their coach. And they're fun to watch, and it's fun to watch them win. So how far can they take it? I do think they're going to be favored in every game, and very likely that they'll be 11-0 when they play Georgia on Black Friday.
Okay, so I got to go back and get something that you said there, and it's about Alabama, right? We were talking about them. What do we do with that Florida State game now that we're 7 games into both of their seasons? Do we just flush it? Do we just say, hey, weird spot, Gus Malzahn versus Alabama, just flush the thing and leave it alone? Or like, I don't know why. I still think about that one a lot because I'm like, that doesn't line up with what we've seen from either team the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think it's one that you flush a little bit, but keep in mind that they what's impressed me most about Alabama, and I kind of said this a couple weeks ago, not sure if it was with you guys, but they still have the largest target on their back in the SEC. And that was proven in the Vanderbilt game, in the Missouri game. They took Vanderbilt and Missouri's best shot, and then they beat Tennessee handily. The Georgia win, that's a really impressive run considering we were trying to fire Kalen, myself included, in week 2. And I think I treat it more as like a fluky week 1 loss, and you're allowed to have those now.
So when you're looking at the Big Ten right there in your neck of the woods, if you concede Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, who's next and why?
Who's the 4th best team in the Big Ten? Oof, it's a tough question. It's probably taking too long to answer this. It's probably Illinois. There are opportunities this weekend. If they win at Washington, then they can say, hey, we were 10-2, but our losses were to 1-2. And yeah, we had a horrible night in Bloomington, but we could compete a little bit with Ohio State in the second half. It's not the greatest argument. I mean, I think USC should be.
Well, I don't know.
But Michigan will probably be here. Let me ask you guys this. I've had this debate all week. I'm not changing the subject, but Michigan's probably going to be 9-2 when they play Ohio State. I think the Buckeyes get them this year, so they'll be 9-3. If you're Michigan, could you sit there and say, well, why did we play Oklahoma if they're only going to take teams by their record? Yes, they look. Go ahead.
I think Michigan's pretty good. So
I also don't know how they lost to USC.
But I'm telling you, Bill, Oklahoma's better than we talk.
No, Oklahoma's good. I don't think that's the point.
Really, I know what he's saying
about
why he schedule it.
Yeah.
I just don't hold that against them. I actually think that should not be a deterrent to keep them out if it came down to another 3-loss team. It just may not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my answer was more Illinois is the better bet to get to 10 wins. And Michigan's a very good team, like you said. But they look really bad at USC.
That was horrible. We watched that on the flight home. I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe how slow they looked defensively against USC. King Miller looked like Reggie Bush out there. And some of it is travel narrative. It's like I try to tell my editors and my friends, and this Big Ten travel thing is very real because they're not NFL guys.
Yeah.
NFL guys have had 5 years to adjust to travel. These are 18 to 22-year-old kids. I mean, when I fly to the West Coast from Ohio, I'm tired when I get off the plane. Now I'm 46, so I have a better excuse, but you get what I'm saying. I just don't think these teams have really made the adjustment to that. And so Michigan, my point is, if Michigan goes 9-3, they're probably out. Had Michigan played Eastern Michigan in that spot, we would complain about their schedule, but they'd probably still get put in at 10-2 with losses to USC and Ohio State.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Bill, because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at their schedule and I go, okay, listen, if you don't play Oklahoma, your best win is Washington.
Yep.
And so I sit here and I go, okay, yes, they would be 10-2, But that's where we need to have a real conversation about college football playoff committee and their selection process, right? Because there's some teams in the SEC that are going to have very similar. I believe Ole Miss is one of them, where they're going to have very similar with like, hey, I've got 2 quality losses and jack all for wins, right? In terms of things I care about. It's like, because a lot of these teams, especially in the SEC, were banking on that LSU win being something, but now 5 of them are going to have LSU wins, and it's like, oh, that doesn't mean anything anymore.
Don't you think Indiana will have only played Oregon, and I say only loosely, but they're making up for what we thought about them last year, only losing to the good teams they played. Like, even I think they come with a little bit of skepticism.
I mean,
and they
beat the hell out of Illinois, though.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, it's like,
but at no point have we said Bill's the first person almost all year that has come out and said, "Oh yeah, I think Illinois belongs in that
team."
Yep.
Sure.
He's the only person. So it's not like we thought well of Indiana or Illinois.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It just seems like we're just using it to kind of fit our discussion on who we like. But at the end of the day, I still think the more good teams you play, the better handle we have on who you are. And maybe that's not important. I understand that. But for our business, Bill, like, do you really how convinced are you that Indiana's really good?
I like them. I like them a lot, but and that works both ways, doesn't it? Though, because it's like it's not their fault that Penn State vetoed, and that game's probably they still got to go to Beaver Stadium.
Yeah,
it's not their fault that happened. It's the Illinois game did open my eyes a little bit because I do think Illinois is good. I think Luke Altmaier is a day 2 NFL quarterback that will probably stick in the league for a while. I like their defense, and Indiana just brutally beat them in that game, like start to finish. And I will say this as somebody that, like you guys know, I live in the Central Ohio bubble. I really want to see what the difference is with Ohio State and what I was at the Ohio State Indiana game last year, and there was no point where I was like, "Oh yeah,
they're
Indiana's
close." Yeah,
they weren't close, and I want to see really closer now. And I think that's the fun part of those 2 teams, especially with Cignetti. But to your point, here's the thing: we're getting close to committee season, and all of us look for different things from the committee. You'll say, "Well, we have good losses," or I agree with you that Bill Hancock told me this once when he was the executive director. He said it has to come down to who you play. So just keep that in mind in November. I still think they follow that and the wins and losses more than anything.
Because seeding is going to be I think seeding is going to be incredibly difficult.
Oh, I agree. I do our playoff picture every Sunday night, and it's kind of like a look forward and stacking them up 5 to 12. It's really hard to do.
And you know what you're going to find yourself getting into? Who they played.
Right. And that's what it should be. So, try to pick a Big 12 champion right now. It's the easy answer you can say.
Especially because I think Iowa State's going to win this weekend.
BYU schedule's brutal, though. They go Iowa State, Texas Tech, and then they've got one more.
I think Becht and company get them. So you're right. I have no idea in the Big 12.
Over the course of 4 weeks, they play 3 really good teams. Like I think BYU by the end of this month
we said that in the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
though.
their schedule's brutal. They go at Iowa State, at Texas Tech, TCU, then they go at Cincinnati over the course of 4 weeks. Like, I think BYU ends up like 10-2 at best.
Yeah, and is that good enough to get to the championship game? Is the question. BYU's undefeated and they're a dog this weekend.
Yeah,
I mean that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah,
and Texas Tech, who I think the big thing there that's led to the unpredictability is the Baron Morton injury. Do they win at Arizona State with Baron Morton at quarterback? They definitely had that quarterback injury. He wasn't 100%. Is he going to be 100% down the stretch? I mean, they need him back if they're going to make a run at this thing. Their defense is still pretty good. They had a big injury in the interior line, though.
I'm going to just go back to the ACC just for clarity's sake. If you had to pick today, who's the best team in the ACC?
I still think it's Miami.
Okay.
I do. I know they had that loss, but I think Bain in that defensive line, and Brom had a good game plan. They got after it, but when all is said and done, I do think Miami will recalibrate and end up winning the ACC championship game. The only question to me is who's in that other spot.
Could I make the argument to you, Bill, that the ACC is more likely to get 2 teams in the college football playoff, but the Big 12 is by far the better conference?
That's fair. I mean, it's a fair argument because I watch. It's hard for me to gauge that because I can answer it this way. Like, I thought the BYU-Utah game was awesome. And I thought both of those teams are really good. Utah already has 2 losses.
Yeah.
Would Utah go out and win the ACC? I don't know. I think the other eye-opening thing in the weekend was Florida State, who we talked about earlier, going out to Stanford and losing. That was shocking to me. And then this 4-game losing streak. So to answer your question, I think that's good analysis. I do think the ACC will get 2 teams in. But if you made the argument that the Big 12 won, like, especially, keep an eye on Cincinnati, by the way. That's another team. So, yeah, I think you're right.
All right. So, and I'll know if you're all in on A&M or not. Miami's the best team in the ACC. Ohio State, you think, is the best team in the Big 10. We're torn in the Big 12. Who's the best team in the SEC?
Alabama. Like, I have no hesitation there. I don't think they're going to lose in the regular season. I think they're going to win the SEC championship. And the way Ty Simpson manages the game, where I really like him, and I obsess about this statistic every week. My favorite statistic on Pro Football Focus is the quarterbacks that throw the best between 10 to 19 yards. That's not like everybody can throw the ball deep. Everybody can throw a bubble screen. Who can pitch a little bit? And I think Ty Simpson can pitch. He has a 65% completion percentage in that range. He manages the field well. They have good receivers. Jam Miller brought some physicality to them. Their defense has their act together. They're not saving Alabama. That's the trick to watching them. You cannot watch Alabama and say, and think you're watching something from like 2009. It's not that. But I do think they're really good.
Does Missouri have a chance to change your mind with Vandy and A&M in Oklahoma?
I mean, that's a good stretch. I mean, honestly, Vandy has a chance to change my mind if
they were pretty good against Bama, better than the score.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like they had their opportunities there, and if Vandy were to beat 3, and they got Texas, that's going to be a really interesting game, by the way. Vandy Texas. The winner of this Vandy Missouri game could change my mind a little bit.
Okay.
Because both of them proved they could run with Alabama, and then the other one I can't. It's just conditional thinking in my brain. Georgia just finds ways to win. I know they're not Georgia 21, but they find ways to win. They still do.
So just kind of out on Marcel Reed and company, huh?
No, I didn't say that. Hey.
Sorry, I apologize.
I didn't say that yet. No, but here's the thing with Texas A&M that I'm very interested in. You brought up LSU. They're favorites at LSU at night. Bizarre. And they still got to play Texas. But if we get, I'm gonna call a shot here, and when we visit next time, we'll see how it works. I think one of the last playoff arguments is going to be a 10-2 Texas A&M, and 10-2 Notre Dame is going to be sitting there, and somebody else is going to be sitting there. And Texas A&M obviously beat Notre Dame. That is a huge, huge playoff chip for them. So I do think the Aggies at 10 wins, I mean, they're in. They got that non-con win, and they did their thing. And, this is a big game with them and LSU this weekend.
So, okay, can I ask, this might be dumb, but if you're sitting there in that scenario that you laid out with Texas A&M and Notre Dame and maybe a third team out there, like, does any part of you go, okay, it was 41-40. That's not like the tiebreaker.
A&M Notre Dame?
Yeah, that we think it is. Like, it's just, like, that's basically a wash. I know that people win and they lose and the final scores matter, but, like, do you just look at the score and you're like, yeah, I mean, they're going to go 5-5 if they play that game 10 times.
Yeah, but, I mean, they still won on the road. So, I mean, that I agree with what you're saying. There were some factors at the end of that game, including a missed extra point or a botched extra point snap.
Botched snap.
And Notre Dame fans will still show you the film and say, that there was a hold that was missed on the last play. But I'm a Packers fan, guys. Michael Parsons gets held every play. So
yeah, I mean, there's holds and then there's hog ties. Like that's a different, there's kind of a different thing on that Notre Dame one, but that's okay. It's fine. I mean, we saw one with Nebraska this weekend too. So I'm not, I'm just saying.
Oh,
It happens. They happen. And but to your point, I do think that they still went on the road and won. And Notre Dame does look like a team that will probably. I think the tricky game for Notre Dame, honestly, is Pitt. They play Navy, but that Pitt game could be tough for them. And if Notre Dame gets to 10 wins, I mean, we all believe it's still a TV show, right? I do think Notre Dame will get in.
Well, it's good for the TV show if they get in over the team that beat them, right?
That's really good for TV.
I mean, it's good drama.
That's great for us because we can argue about it the next week.
Oh, this is going to be fascinating. I think it's funny how we all year and all off season we said, hey, what difference does scheduling make? Signetti can joke about SEC scheduling, and I'm telling you, 5 through 12 is going to boil down to scheduling. I just think it's funny.
Great, and it's good for debate. And I am prepping for, as we get into November, it kind of brings everything full circle here. That November gets wild because of the regular season games, but I, like you, really look at the schedule, right? Like I just say, here's who they beat. That's all. I know a lot of people will say, here's who they lost to. I'm still who did they play? Who did they beat?
Right there with you.
Who did they lose?
Right there with you.
Who did they lose to comes third for me.
Yeah, can I just anytime quality losses come into the conversation, I'm out. Like I'm just like I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's just too hard to navigate. Bless you.
It's a loss. Like I don't look at that any other way. I mean, the only thing I would look at is we were talking about it earlier. Michigan going to Oklahoma. Hey, they stepped out. Texas going to Ohio State in the opener. Hey,
I could tell by your answer from A&M Notre Dame. At the end of the day, you go, yeah, but they still lost, right? Like right. I get how you feel about it. They lost.
They got the results have to matter. Otherwise, what are we doing?
That's our guy, Bill Bender from the Sporting News. Bill, we appreciate the time. As always, we'll talk again soon.
Hey, no problem. Anytime, guys. This is great. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. We're just a bunch of yahoos. That's why it's great.
The quality loss thing drives me crazy. Like, I'm just not. Because you know what it is?
Listen, not everybody can be our guy, too. Like, it can't be our guy, Mitch Sherman. It can't be our guy, Bill Bender. It can't be our guy, Brian Christopherson. I don't have that. You know what I mean?
I tried to explain this before.
Ravi?
If they weren't.
What happened to him?
If they weren't our guys, they wouldn't be on the show.
Oh.
There's a lot of people out there that do this that do not make appearances on this fine program. Those are not our guys.
Okay.
If they're on the show, they're our guys.
My AC joint hurts.
Acromial clavicular joint.
Yes, that.
Sometimes there's a narrow.
What?
Do you have an impingement?
We missed her birthday.
We missed her birthday?
Yes.
Well, you mean you.
I know. And she hasn't spoke to me since.
What?
Yeah, I told her, I was like, hey, we'll make it up to you. Crickets. Not the ones that I couldn't find in my garage.
Crickets what did you kill in your garage? A bird?
Yes. Don't make it sound like that.
Did you not
murder it? I killed a hummingbird or a woodpecker.
Murdered a bird in your garage?
Yes.
That's all right. I mean, listen, it happens to the best of us. I'm just glad. I actually thought about that when I was in your garage the other day. I was like, man, I hope there's no wildlife in here.
No.
I did. I thought about it. I was like, man, they're going
to try to keep it pretty organized.
It was. Your garage is immaculate. I was impressed. That thing stays organized.
It just has to.
Because I'll be honest, mine gets a little, it's less organized.
Yeah.
I don't want to say chaotic because there's.
My OCD has its benefits. It also has its annoyances.
Has some drawbacks?
Yes. I thought of you the other day or yesterday. There was, I had some leftover breakfast because I thought Micah was going to eat.
Yeah.
And it was purchased.
Yeah.
It is in the exact same place in which I got it yesterday on the stove. somebody will eat it,
Yep.
and it involves eggs.
What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Just put it in the fridge. It's not that hard.
Oh,
it is not that hard.
And it wasn't even intentional. I just was like, well, it's gonna be close enough. When
Your
it gets
fridge
here.
is right there, man.
I know.
It's like stove, microwave.
By the way, if you can find me
fridge.
one, you have Facebook. I don't. If you can find me a nice fridge on Facebook,
You need a
Market,
fridge or a freezer? I thought you
Well,
said you needed a new freezer.
So the freezer portion stopped making ice. So we just
gotcha,
buy ice.
Gotcha.
But I don't like the fridge. It came with the house.
Ken says, "Damn it, Shane! I thought the cricket was in my house."
I bet. Listen, you guys made fun of that whole meltdown I was having. It's not like you guys are walking down crickets either. You guys aren't finding them.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't about that. It was
that I was captivated by it.
That you were like, I think this cricket's smarter than me. That was the thing.
It's not even that funny, Shane.
I was laughing at Ken's comment.
Much like Coach Butler, I just was thinking out loud. Like, I just don't know why humans can't sneak up on crickets.
I mean, you probably can't. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. This is a real small sample size. We're doing this anecdotally.
When's the last time you stalked, walked, and killed a cricket?
I haven't tried. I don't care that
It doesn't
much.
annoy you?
No. Not at all. It does.
Okay.
I don't get that many crickets in my house, man. I don't know.
It's fine.
It's
totally fine.
Who are you talking about, bro?
Yeah,
who was that?
What are you talking about, bro?
Who are you talking about, bro?
That's Coach Butler.
What are you talking about, bro?
Shane, have you
Was
checked?
he talking about,
bro?
Was he talking about giving up 21 in a 21-point game, getting skunked in the hoops on the
I would
court?
take that Indiana game and just flush it down the toilet.
He got skunked in hoops?
No, he ain't getting skunked.
Oh,
My man
okay.
has game.
Shane, do you check your text, please? Is he a little bit of a baller?
Yeah.
Coach Butler?
Yes.
Okay.
He's like Northeastern Player of the Year. up
Was
where
he
he's
really?
from. Yeah.
I mean, I knew he's from Philly, but that's impressive.
No, he has game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He gives
All
it to
right.
those guys. Just ask him.
Is Coach Rule still playing pickleball at all? What's he doing?
I don't know. He's not talking to me.
Well, I mean, are you also not talking to him, or how's that working?
My mom said your garage is orderly because all your stuff is in my garage.
That's awesome.
That is the most
funny lady.
That is the most mom thing I've ever heard in my life.
She hinted that she's having a bin delivered.
Hey, could you get rid of your stuff?
I don't know if that's all my stuff. There's motorcycle. Listen, there's a lot of stuff over there that isn't mine.
Motorcycle? That one's not yours?
Is it like stuff you had when you were a kid?
Maybe. Might be wedding gifts. I can't remember, to be honest.
When my parents moved out of my childhood home, it was a whole thing. She's like, hey, you got this amount of time to get the stuff out of the house or it's gone.
Oh, I think she's probably there.
Yeah, we had to have a little bit of a come to Jesus moment with the stuff in mom and dad's house.
That's all right.
That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Savings event is on at Edwards Kia. Fall into fearless savings with upfront deals on your favorite models. Lease a 2025 Kia Soul LX starting at $189 per month for 24 months with $2,000 due at signing. Style, efficiency, and a price that moves you. Smart looks, fearless savings. Or lease the 2025 Kia Carnival EX starting at $389 per month for 24 months with $2,000 due at signing. Comfort and tech made for every family adventure. Hurry, the Kia Fall Savings event ends November 3rd at Edwards Kia.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.